stops, no one knows. We're going headed into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Hi. Hello. Happy Friday and welcome back to Criminality. Or if this is your first time here, welcome to Criminality. We are on day 4 in hour 21 of jury deliberations in the Karen retrial. But at least we kind of have an idea of what's really going on in the deliberation room. So I'm going to say hi to you guys and we'll get started. And I'm actually probably on right in time for them to be coming back to court. So we'll see what happens when they go back. But I'm going to show you guys what happened earlier and we'll talk about that. So what's up, C-Dub? I saw you over in Bob's going, it's much easier to be in a chat you don't mod. I can imagine. I suck at modding because I'm just paying attention to what's happening on the channel. I'm not paying any attention to what's actually happening in the chat. Hi Chelsea, what's up DB? Hi Nanya. Hi Susan. I had to be quiet when they were defending STS. I responded to you. Thank you so much, Fluffy Bunny, for doing that. She transcribed the Jen McCabe 911 call. So I weak upshite when she's not there right now. I don't know anything. Susan, I don't know that whole story. You're going to have to fill me in on that. Hi, Johnny. I'm new here. Yeah. I think you were like number 2 subscriber, but nice try. Hi, True Crime Fangirl. What's up, BG OG? Hi, Todd. Justice Jane says, I hope the jury is smart enough to realize that they weren't there for 10 weeks to frame Ellie and see that Karen is the one that ended John's life. There needs to be justice for Officer John O'Keefe. I agree there needs to be justice, but it needs to actually be just. And I just don't think that anybody's going to end up agreeing on this. I've been saying now for the last 2 days, I think that we're going to end in a hung. I'm more surprised that they came back today with what seemed to be that they're hung on the original charge. I kind of thought my lights over here just changing colors. I need to fix that. I thought that my guess was that they would find her not guilty on second degree, which I think most people, no matter what side of the fence you're on, I think, I don't know how many people actually believe she did it intentionally. So second degree was kind of hard. And I thought they'd come back hung on the involuntary, but the way that it came in today, it kind of seems like they might just be hung in general. Like they can't agree on anything, which leads me back to why they were probably so exhausted yesterday when I was like, they're just like fighting in that deliberation room. Hi, Karen. What's up, Snappy? Hi, Amy. And let me go back down here real quick. Hi, Mandy. Bob said he knew it would be over 3 hours. I kind of figured that we'd get one Wednesday, Thursday. I'm actually surprised we're at this many hours. Oh, Nanya, where are you going? Hold on, let me scroll up. Let me see. That's okay. You can pop off. What up, Phoenix? Hold on. Let me see. Okay. So STS had the guy who defended Colin on the other night, and they were trashing TV and saying basically he deserved the shit he got in Canton the other night. Oh, okay. Well, I missed that. But I know that there are people who do think that they believe that Turtle Boy went there with the intent to cause a ruckus, and he got what he wanted. Now, my opinion is, no matter what Turtle Boy went there for, they have control over their own actions, and their own actions are what make me feel the way that I feel. And then, and same about like things I don't agree with with Turtle Boy. So I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Watched it and it shrunk. No way, Rexy. All right, let me see how we can fix that. I don't know if it's a third-party vendor, but there's got to be a way to fix that. That's bullshit. Well, I think Joel gives a lot of leeway to his guests to let them say and do what they kind of want. Hi, Allie. What's up, Jax? I still think the murder 2 is gone. I don't think they've been specific enough. True. I didn't know where you were going, but I love you, Nanya. And come back with your jokes. The court TV clock stopped. Okay. Well, we'll see. I have Law and Crime up. I'll pull up court TV too. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like that was their own. They didn't need to go there either. So as much as he didn't need to go there, they didn't need to go there and continue it. So I'm kind of at the point where I don't know. He didn't do anything illegal. They did. Bottom line, that's kind of where it comes to. So, people can try to control you and control your emotions. And if you allow other people to control you and your emotions, that's on you. That's not on that other person. So we live that on social media every day. We can absolutely go off on people, but that's us. I mean, that's on us that we do it. I've been on the fence as to her guilt, but I've never thought intentional. But now I don't feel the Commonwealth proves she did it, so I'd have to be not guilty, even though I think she might have. Amy Lou, you and I think are on the exact same page. That's where I'm at. I don't think we're actually going to find out what actually happened to John O'Keefe. I don't feel like they absolutely did not prove that she intentionally hit him. Not in my opinion. Their motive and their reason for intent still doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. She got mad at him over New Year's because she thought he kissed another girl, and then she got upset that night over the same sort of thing. That's a sign of jealousy. Yeah, it can lead to things, but it doesn't always. So to me, it's just not. It was not enough. And then I wanted them to show me. I knew things I needed, and you're probably not supposed to do it that way, but I knew things I needed for them to show me how John got injured by that car. How did that car cause those injuries? And they didn't do that. What they came to me with was that John's DNA was on the taillight. They didn't even give me the source of the DNA. Now, if they said that John's blood was all over that taillight, I may have leaned more that way. They're going back in right now. Okay. Well, I mean, it's up. I'll put it on the screen just so we're watching it while we're chatting. So, and then I wanted the reconstructionist, I wanted the medical examiner, and I wanted the Google stuff. I think she might have is reasonable doubt. It's beyond all reasonable doubt. I was actually saying over at Bob and Jay, I'm surprised that they're not told something along the lines of, if you can come up with more than like one scenario, if you think that it's possible that there are two different scenarios that could have happened, that is reasonable doubt. That's exactly what it is. We still got the fan going. Actually, I'm just going to refresh it. I like to just do that every once in a while, make sure I'm all caught up with the stuff and things. I mean, it's just over here playing, but let me check. We'll check out Twitter real quick. What's up, Love Muffin?
Did you wash my towel?
No.
Can I just take it then?
Mm-hmm. I still don't feel like it was a massive cover-up. 3 to 4 people max and a bunch of detectives with tunnel vision. The truth of the matter is there isn't enough evidence of anything. Yep. And I think there's not enough evidence of anything because I think that law enforcement did a shitty job investigating. So And do I think it's possible that, where the hell did Twitter go? Do I think it's possible that they put some taillight pieces there? Absolutely. I mean, to pretend like an officer isn't going to go above and beyond to make sure they get their guy is naive. Okay, we are back in the courtroom. Defense and CW as well as families are here. We are told they will be sending the jury a note asking for their status. Oh, okay. Ooh. So let's see. I was going to play the earlier little segment real quick. So I'll keep that up too. So I have it on two screens. So I'm going to take this one. I'm going to go back to when they came in. It's super quick anyway. And then I have it live on this screen. So nobody stress. Come on. And I told the kids today, I'm like, okay, you guys, like I have to go live. Like, can you guys just stay off the video games online for a hot minute? Yesterday was atrocious. The whole thing ended in shambles. Yeah, I think it's right here.
Inform you on behalf of the jury that just
That poor ceiling fan. I see so many memes about the ceiling fan now. Hey, 867. If they said his hair attached to a little scalp and blood had been the hair they found, I may have been more compelled to believe that hair mattered. But just a hair? Yeah, my hair is everywhere. Yeah, another thing, I completely agree. They just did not give me enough to say that this is what she did. And so, no, I don't know what happened. No, I don't necessarily believe the defense theory. I've always said that. Like, I'm not in. I've not bought into the. I think John O'Keefe went in the house and got beat up by Colin. But that doesn't matter because the defense doesn't have to prove their theory. The Commonwealth has to prove that she did it, and to me, they just did not do that. They did not prove that she did it. That's where I'm at. I can't get past that. And that doesn't even mean that I believe that she didn't do it. And that's the worst part of the whole thing. The kiddos are working for Lolly. Hi, Lone Pony. It's time. Just put Chloe in with the jurors. We'll get an answer. Okay, hold on.
the jury, dear Judge Cannoni, I am writing to inform you on behalf of the jury that despite our exhaustive review of the evidence and our diligent consideration of all disputed evidence, we have been unable to reach a unanimous verdict signed by the foreperson. So I want to hear from counsel your view on whether there has been due and thorough deliberation. So let's start with the Commonwealth.
My answer would be no, Your Honor. This simply hasn't been sufficient time yet.
And what does the defense say?
We believe that there has been sufficient.
All right, so I'll hear from both of you in more detail. Mr. Lally, I will hear you.
Your Honor, the jury received this case just earlier this week. They've had slightly shortened days, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form suggesting that they haven't conducted their due diligence in regard to their deliberative process, but I would submit that it is far, far, far too early in their deliberative process to even consider giving them any kind of Tui Rodriguez instruction or anything close to that. Furthermore, what the note doesn't really indicate affirmatively that they
Not yet.
can't come to a
I've got that one
conclusion.
up
It just
over
says
here.
that they haven't come to a conclusion through their deliberative process at this time. They're not even asking for one, is what I would say.
All right, thank you. Ms. Giannetti, I'll hear you.
Your Honor, I would disagree with Mr. Lally's characterization of the note. The word exhaustive is the word I think that's operative here. They're communicating to the court that they've exhausted all manner of compromise, all manner of persuasion, and they're at an impasse. This is a case where the jury has the legal instructions. They've only really asked one question, which was to try to get a report that they were not allowed to get. And I think the message has been received that the evidence is closed. They won't get anything more. essentially nonstop over the last, 3-4 days. We're approaching the weekend. They didn't come back with this at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. They're at 12 o'clock and they have nowhere to turn. So our position is the jury should be read the Tui Rodriguez model instruction and go from there.
Okay. All right. So you all know that it is within my discretion. I decide. So a case that has been, it's a long case. This is our 4th day of deliberations, but Tuesday was a short afternoon, maybe 2.5 hours. Wednesday, they left early because of an appointment. Yesterday was also shortened a little bit, and this note arrived with less than 3 hours of deliberations.
This is now live in the courtroom currently.
All right, so I sent the note in at 3:30 like I've done each day, asking if they want to go home or continue. They indicated that they want to continue until 4:15. So we will continue until 4:15. Madam Court Reporter, thank you.
Is it?
Okay,
So they think they're going to have another half
Right.
hour?
so I'll see you at 4:15.
Court, all rise, court stands recess.
Wait a minute.
You are muted.
She sent them the note at 3:30. They want to continue until 4:15. That to me means that they actually think
Hey there, Karen Reed, trial watch.
that they're actually going to come to a conclusion. That's what I'm wondering. Do they feel like they're actually going to have an answer by 4:15? Because if you're still so exhausted in your deliberations that you don't think you're going to come up with an answer, what's the next half hour going to do for you? How's that going to help you? Yeah, that's weird to me. Hi, Patricia. One would have to believe that 142 can't. No, I disagree with that. I don't even have to read the rest, but I absolutely disagree with that. Conspired for one cop to murder another cop and frame Karen, which is absurd. It was one salty girlfriend in a drunken rage, and it's not rocket science. Well, it's some type of science, and the science actually says she didn't hit him, but I'm not going to go there because you can think she did. But it doesn't take that many for the conspiracy to work. All it takes is for a couple of them to be in the conspiracy or the cover up and with the corruption, and then everybody else on the outside ignores it, denies it, pretends it doesn't exist. That's where it's at. They might be deciding on the charge. That I'm feeling like that means that they're at something. They got something. It's useless. I just felt a cold sweat. Imagine how Karen must feel. So Lolly wanted them to continue on after their note this afternoon. Ooh, thanks, Stevie. I'll take a look at it. And Yannetti was like, no, they're saying they've exhausted it. Like, let it go. Like, read them the Tui Rodriguez, which I think is the Allen charge, if I am remembering correctly. And maybe it's just different in Massachusetts. Oh, Susan, speaking of, you asked if they'd asked for the jury to be sequestered. I do not remember that, but I do remember another lawyer on talking about that in Massachusetts they don't sequester juries. So okay, let me go find it. I don't know if that's true or not. I never actually looked it up myself. Okay, so it looks like they're gonna go for another half hour. It's just that's weird to me. I'm telling you, that's weird to me. They're gonna come back in and be like, nope, that half hour did nothing for us. A pre-2E Rodriguez charge when the jury prematurely suggests that it may be at an impasse, but the judge concludes that the jury is not deadlocked and that the 2A request charge 1 of 2. Yeah, I told you I was gonna pull it up. Schmied. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't drop it in any of the chats. Shmita, would you drop it in the chats and post it in the Facebook group? I don't know. I was just like, fuck it, I'm going live. I was like, I'm not giving anybody any notice. Would you do that for me? Pretty please. Pretty please. All right. So when jurors cannot agree. Our Constitution and laws provide that in a criminal case, the principal way for deciding questions of fact is the verdict of a jury. So I always tell you guys that once you're in the jury trial, the jury is the finder of fact, the judge is the finder of law. In most cases, and perhaps strictly speaking, in all cases, absolute certainty cannot be attained or expected, which is why it's beyond a reasonable doubt. The verdict to which each juror agrees must, of course, be his or her own verdict, the result of his or her own convictions, and not merely an acquiescence in the conclusions of the other jurors. Still, in order to bring 6 minds to a unanimous result, which it's 12 here, you must examine the issues you have to decide with candor and with proper regard and respect for each other's opinions. You should consider that it is desirable that the case be decided. You should consider that you have been selected in the same manner and from the same source as any future jury would be. There's no reason to suppose that the case will ever be submitted to 12 persons who are more intelligent, more impartial, or more competent to decide it than you are, or that more or clearer evidence will be produced on one side or the other. With all this in mind, it is your duty to decide this case if you can do so conscientiously. In order to make a decision more attainable, the law always imposes the burden of proof on one side or the other. In this criminal case, the burden of proof is on the Commonwealth to establish every part of it, every essential element beyond a reasonable doubt. If you are left in doubt as to any essential element, the defendant is entitled to the benefit of that doubt and must be acquitted. In conferring together, you ought to give proper respect to each other's opinions and listen with an open mind to each other's arguments. Where there is a disagreement, those jurors who are for acquittal should consider whether a doubt in their own minds is a reasonable one. If it makes no impression on the minds of the other jurors who are equally honest, equally intelligent, and who have heard the same evidence with the same attention, with an equal desire to arrive at the truth, and who have taken the same oath as jurors, on the other hand, those jurors who are for conviction ought seriously to ask themselves whether they may not reasonably doubt the correctness of their judgment. If it is not shared by other members of the jury, they should ask themselves whether they should distrust the weight or adequacy of the evidence if it has failed to convince the minds of their fellow jurors. So, and there's still more, which I'll read the rest of it, but essentially it's like this would, for me, would be if the jury is split like a 10-2, which is what I think it is. And that's a 10-2 either way. It's like if you're on the 2 that's looking to convict her, like, are you looking at this with the mindset of it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt, and here are the reasons that there is doubt, and you go, wait a minute, 10-2 on which charges? Well, my original one was that I thought that they were not guilty. I thought they were not guilty on, you know, and I have them too. Let me pull those up. Not guilty on second degree. That's where I was at with it to begin with. I think I have a tiny person coming.
Where's Daddy?
I don't know where Daddy is. Let me see what it is. I cannot see it, honey. Can you bring it over here? Yes, you can have that.
I only have one.
Okay, that's fine. I just said you could have it. Can you leave that door cracked, though, please? The kid eats more than anything in the whole world. Tell him to check the dryer. I've gotten worse voicemails from upset clients. I've left some pretty bad voicemails in my time. My patience has absolutely changed after having children. And my temper has absolutely changed after having children. So I kind of look at it in that way. Like she didn't have kids. She didn't have to learn that patience until she started dating a guy with kids. I don't know. I've left some really fucking shitty voicemails. I've gotten some really shitty voicemails. I can tell you, I wouldn't intentionally run my husband over with a car. Yet he pisses me off a lot sometimes, which I'm sure I do the same. I don't know. You never know, because you can't be in the mindset of her at that time. And I think it's also a struggle because she doesn't seem to remember much about her own mindset at that time. But you also can't have it both ways. You can't have it where she's so intoxicated that she can't make a decision, and then have her deciding that she's going to run him over and cover it up and cry and become like, oh, if I just cry and I become hysterical. And then she talked about like I'll tell you one thing that kind of threw me into the weird thing is she was talking about period blood on her hands. Like she knows she was just touching her boyfriend who was bleeding. And then here she is. That's like a sign of like that you're not with it. You have no idea. Like you're just like not there. You have no idea where you're at. You don't know what's happening in the world, because why are you thinking that you just started your period when you know you literally just had your hands on your boyfriend who was bleeding? I don't know. It just seems she was fucking out of it to me. Okay, so this is the original verdict slips, FYI. So this is before the Jackson Bev exchange, and where Karen apparently thought it was funny, but she was like, no, Judge, I did not think it was funny. So you have offense number 1, murder in the second degree. You got not guilty, and then you've got guilty of offense as charged, murder in the second degree. This is the one I was like, yep, nope, done. This doesn't even matter. You didn't hear the voicemail from Karen? I can play them, yeah. We'll be on here for a hot minute, so just remind me, and I will play it. And then you have, I'll just pull these both up. I'm going to go to count 3. I'll go to the count 3 next, because it's just the simpler one. So it's leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death. So not guilty or guilty as charged. This one is, in my opinion, goes along with number 2. So I don't know how you can really find her guilty of number 3 if you don't find her guilty of anything on number 2. It just doesn't really work. So that's number 3. And then you have, here's the one that was the point of contention. I've never said I hate you. Oh, really? That's nice. That's nice. I have. It's the end, but that's what we're gonna. It's tough because I think that we put a lot of our own experiences into it, which is good because that's what the jury's doing too. They're like, I would never say that, no matter how mad I was, and I'm over here like, I would totally say that. I'd be like, fuck you, I hate you, whatever. I would totally have said that. Okay, so this is the one, like I said, that this was the one that they had to have changed. But don't both the second and third charges have to show she knew she did it? One has to be intentional, but the others say she had to know she did, right? Well, that's kind of the whole thing. It's like, how do you say she's so drunk that she could do these things? But then I'm sure it's probably very confusing for them. But they also have 50 pages of jury instructions, which I don't have. And just keeping an eye on the live version of court. So this one is the manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence. So this is the one where she's like, you just put, it was not guilty. And they're like, well, how do you do not guilty with the other charges? So it's guilty of the offense as charged, which she's charged with manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence. You have to have one of these elements to have that. Manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol, and or manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. So they mark yes, no, and then she's guilty of this. If they don't believe these things to be true, then you have guilty of, so still in this, they essentially have to believe that she hit him. She hit him with her car while she was drunk, but it could have been accidental, but she hit him with the car. And she just it didn't have to be an intentional thing to do it. So it's manslaughter or involuntary manslaughter when you go to guilty of lesser included charge of the involuntary manslaughter. Guilty of a lesser included charge of motor vehicle homicide, an OUI, liquor and negligence. So you can have one or both of these elements, the motor vehicle homicide by operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol, and or the motor vehicle homicide by operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. So you have motor vehicle homicide, involuntary manslaughter as the two lesser charges. All those still mean that they believe, or a juror believes, that she hit him with her car. Now, the defense is that she didn't even, there is no hitting him with a car. So she's not guilty on all of this because she doesn't, if she doesn't hit him with the car, she can't do any of these things. And since she didn't hit him with the car, she's not guilty. Does that make sense? So it's like, if you think she did hit him with the car, now you have to decide on, did she do it intentionally? Was she intoxicated? If she is intoxicated, did she know what she did? Did she not know what she did? And they'll have this in the charging documents of like exactly what checklist it is. It's like, okay, here, check, check, check. There's, if you've checked all of these boxes, then you as a juror do believe that this person is guilty. And if you don't check all the boxes, then you don't believe that this person is guilty. You believe this person is not guilty. It's like almost like a walkthrough on how to decide on all the elements of the crime. So that he wanted this change. This is the one that he wanted changed, where it said not guilty of offense as charged or lesser included charges. So that's why I said that the other one, you can't be guilty of that if you don't think she hit him with the car. So you have to have, they kind of almost go together. Where does that one at? I think it's this one. Yeah. So offense 3, leaving the scene of an accident that resulted in death. All of them mean that she hit him with the car. So I think, this was my thought, I don't think 3 even matters yet necessarily. And this is, like I said, this is totally just my opinion. This has no relevance to anything. It's just me giving my opinion on YouTube. So you take it and leave it, whatever you want to do with that. My opinion was, murder in the second degree, not guilty. Second count. This is where I think that they're hung up. I think that they're having a problem here. I think there is somebody who believes that she hit him with the car, but doesn't believe it was intentional to be murder too, but does believe that she hit him with the car. And I think that person is held up on this page. So I think you could also have, a split. The split doesn't have to be guilty, not guilty. The split could be here on, well, no, I think she should be found guilty of this, but not this. And then for me, number 3, like I was saying, number 3 goes with number 2. It's almost like if you can't figure this one out, you can't figure out 3. That's where I'm at with it. I mean, and that could just be my personal feelings like being brought into it. But that's, like I said, that's where I'm at. I'm going to turn the fan on. I'm going to turn the fan on. No pun intended. Give me a second. Okay, so, but to back that up, that now we had them going in today and the jury essentially sending a note saying, we've exhausted everything. We've exhausted everything and we cannot come to an agreement. They didn't specify anything. So I don't know. That made me go, wait a minute. If they're not, does the judge know? Because there's other cases where it's like, nope, this person's been found not guilty on this charge, but the jury is hung on the second charge. Now they'll go through each offense and that's what they do. But So there isn't a, we've reached a decision on 2 of the 3 counts, but we cannot come to an agreement on the 3rd. That made me go, holy shit, is there somebody in there who thinks that she did intentionally hit him with the car? So I don't know. That's why I'm very curious what she's going to do. It's like, did you guys not come to an agreement on anything? Does she already know if they came to an agreement on anything, or if it's, just if it's just one of the charges? That's where I'm at. That's what confuses me. All right. So we got the live up over here. So there's 3 charges. One of those charges has lesser included charges they can choose from. It almost gets kind of confusing too. No verdict yet. So the jury, judge sent a note to the jury, and they said they wanted to continue to deliberate until 4:15. So, and hi everybody that's just popped in. I know I haven't been able to give individual hellos. So I have the live screen up while we're reading through when the jurors cannot agree what happens. So it says, I would ask you to now return to your deliberations with these thoughts in mind. The model instruction above and the alternate instruction below are adapted from the 2 alternate models set out in the Commonwealth versus Rodriguez and the Commonwealth versus Tui. It is appropriate for the judge to give such a charge when the jury is deadlocked, but because it has a certain sting to it, it should not be given prematurely, and digression from the recommended language is discouraged. As to when such a charge is appropriate, see the jury trial manual for criminal offenses, subject to the limitations. So that's why the Tui Rodriguez. So Lolly wanted them to be read that. Lolly wanted them to not be read that yet. And Jackson was like, no, like, yeah, let's just read them that, have them go back, and then if they can't come up with it, then they can't come up with it. I think it depends, Bonnie, on the split. If they're 6-6, if they're say they're 6-6 on all the counts, they're 6-6 and they're just like, nope, she's not guilty of anything, and the other ones are like, nope, she's guilty of everything. Like, let's just say they're 6-6. I don't know how you convince 6 other people to change their mind and to give up their viewpoint. Now, if you have an 11-1 or even a 10-2, an 11-1 to me really does read a lot like what this Tui Rodriguez thing is. Like, it's how, if there's 11 other people that you're sitting in a room with, and you guys are all essentially the same person, you guys are all chosen based on the same experience, then why are there 11 people sitting in that room with you who think differently than you? Like, what are they seeing that you don't see? And this is no matter which way the 11-1 split is, like whether it's guilty, not guilty, no matter what. What are those 10 or 11 people seeing that you don't see? And it's like, okay, let them show me. And if I still just cannot wrap my mind around it, like, what made you think this? And then I'm like, okay, well, I think this because of so-and-so's testimony. And they're like, but didn't you think that so-and-so's testimony like was garbage because of such and such? It's a perfect storm for a very compromised verdict. It is. Unless you have that one holdout that like, no, you're not convincing me. I don't think it's right. I think the opposite of you, and I'm not going to change my mind. They want them to come to a decision. But I'm telling you, it's really comes down to if it's like an 11-1 or a 10-2 split. If you've got more of a 50-50, you're just not going to agree, and you cannot come up with a compromised verdict just simply because they can physically, but you shouldn't come up with a compromised verdict, because that's what that is. Let me see if I can bring it back up real quick. It's this one. So if you go, okay, well, fine, we're going to find her not guilty on second degree. Okay, fine, then we're going to find her guilty. If I give you guys not guilty on second degree, then you're going to have to give me something on offense too. And it's like, okay, well, we're not going to give you guilty of offenses charged. We'll give you an involuntary manslaughter. And they're like, okay, fine, that's fine. I can live with her being guilty of involuntary manslaughter versus not being held accountable at all. That's problematic, but that does happen. Is it normal for the judge to choose the foreperson? It depends on the state. From watching as many trials as I have, sometimes the jurors pick the foreman. In other ones, what trial were we just watching before Karen Reed, where they tried to pick their own foreperson and the judge was like, yeah, no, you guys don't pick. What fucking trial was that? The judge was like, no, you guys don't get to pick it. Like, whoever you think it's going to be, it's not. I'm going to tell you who it is. And then they picked it. I just can't remember what trial it was now. Other ones where they put all of the jurors into like a spinny thing and they picked out the one and it was totally random. And they're like, okay, you're the foreperson. I've seen it go so many different ways. I've also seen it where they let the defendant pick from the little spinny thingy, which picks their alternates and their foreperson. Hi, Arnim. Was that Murdoch? No, it wasn't that long ago, was it? I feel like it was so much more recent. Did you think the juror's note was oddly formal? Don't know what that would mean. LOL, but that's what I heard. It is kind of formal, like we've exhausted all of our measures to come to this. Yeah. They may have been given some suggestions on, if this is what's happening. Like they have, like, I'm telling you, they have like 50 pages of jury instructions. So they may have something, or maybe somebody knows. I had heard a rumor that there was a retired cop on there. I also heard a rumor that there was an attorney on there. I have no idea if those are true. Yeah, the spinny thingy. Put the numbers in. Pull the ball. It's like for bingo. Like bingo, you're on the jury. The foreman looked defeated. Interesting. It's weird that she just was like, nope, you're the one I want. But sometimes they're paying attention to the jury and seeing who they find to be the most attentive, and who they find to be the most unbiased or the most authoritative to be able to get things moving. So is the foreperson taken out of the alternate pick since they were picked first? Yes. In this situation, they were. I would assume. That would be kind of dumb if they left them in there and they're like, oopsie. I think she knew who she wanted to be the foreperson. And they're like, okay, yeah, you're done. Oh, it's definitely Murdoch. Wow, my brain thinks of it so much sooner. Like it's so much more recent. Bev has not called a mistrial yet. They went back to deliberate until 4:15. The jurors were asked at 3:30 what they wanted to do, and they said they wanted to continue until 4:15. So that is a very interesting thing. If they were so deadlocked on not agreeing, then why would the extra half hour have mattered to them? That I don't know. At the Daybell trial, they picked their own foreperson. So they're deliberating for another 5 minutes, and then they're going to be called back into the courtroom. And they're going to be like, has the jury reached a verdict? And if they do reach a verdict, then they're going to give it to the bailiff, and the bailiff's going to tell her. That makes me think they're getting close to an agreement. I know. Hell, Murdoch was a year ago. I started moving the first week of February 23, and it just started and then lasted after that, and wasn't Murdoch before Vallow. Murdoch was before Vallow, and then Vallow, Stout, and the West trial was all at the same time, and I was watching all 3 trials every day to report on all 3 trials. That was silly. That was silly business right there. Vallow I would listen to at night because it was only audio, and West I would listen to during the day because you had to watch it live. You couldn't stream it, and you couldn't record it. So I'd listen to that one live, and then on the breaks of that one, I'd go over to Stout. And I'd have one on my computer and one on my phone. I know, that's when they were like, no, that was Murdoch. I'm like, no, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. I feel like it was just like the trial I watched right before this one. If the jury is hung, she'll have to give them the official instructions. Correct. Yeah. Yannetti wanted it. Done during that one, and she was like, it's up to my discretion. This is the longest 5 minutes of Karen's life, and they're going to come in and be like, we'll be back Monday, or can we come in tomorrow? I can't believe that she just let them go so early. I think maybe she really thought they were going to come to an agreement too, and they just didn't. And so now she's like, shit, I let him go home early yesterday. Now it's Friday and I want to go home. And now we're stuck here. Yeah, mine's Thursday. Your holiday is this weekend. Yeah, what are you, July 1st or whatever? What is your holiday? What date is it? America. Yeah, we get happy birthday, America. Hung is the same thing as deadlocked. Yeah. Sorry, did I mix it up? That was totally my schedule too for last summer. And then your picture like totally sums up that comment too. It's just hilarious. It's like, yeah, fuck, that was my schedule. Bev probably thought it was going to be a quickie. I think she probably did. She was like, oh, yeah, we're good. Not going to worry about it. They'll be done tomorrow. Oh, hold on. It's over. I have it on. Where? I thought I had it up over here. Hold on. I thought I had it up on two screens. Oh, I do. Here we go. This one's just not live. Let's go to live. The one on my left screen's live. We can watch the fan together. So, who was watching Court TV? Was that you, Susan? Let me pull up Court TV and see what is their counter going again or no? Somebody's a holdout. If I were waiting this 5 minutes, I would use the restroom, as it could possibly be my final private restroom break, and I would want to be holding tight to my friends and family. I think it's kind of scary to think of like what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes of your life is going to change your whole life. Yeah, I could see that. What's the clock say, Susan? Oh, they're on a break. Never mind. Bev looks so indigent when they said hung. Like, who are you mad at now? Yeah, she's the one who let him go. When we're all like, don't let him go. What are you doing? Stop letting him go. Well, I mean, it's 4:15 right now, so come on, move away from the fan. Go down. I know you want to. Go down. The clock is still running? Okay, that's what I was wondering. They are currently hung, Kelt. Yes, they came in early this afternoon, and said that they had exhausted themselves and were unable to reach a verdict. They did not say on which charge. They did not say what the split was. And she said, nope, go back, continue to deliberate. You're going to have lunch, have your lunch and keep going. And so at 3:30, she sent them a note and said, kind of where are you guys at now? They sent back, so at about 3:45-ish, they sent the note back and said, we want to continue until 4:15. So now we're all like, holy shit, like if they actually had, why would they stay another half hour if they didn't feel like they were close to a resolution? If they still felt that they had exhausted everything like they did this afternoon, what is a half hour going to change? Unless they had a 2, unless it was a 10-2, and now it's an 11-1. And they're like, come on, we're just waiting for you so we can go home. for the holiday weekend. Is 4:15 the normal time to leave? Well, she's actually been letting them leave at about 3:45 every day. We are back in the courtroom. Stand by. Let's see what Fall River says. Oh, that's what Fall River did say. We are back in the courtroom. Please stand by. That was 1 minute ago. So it's coming. Yeah, 6:17 after now. But they had to send the note. So, and then they got to get everybody back in the courtroom. There are rules. You're not allowed to intimidate a juror to change their vote. Yeah. But I know that they do get kind of feisty in there. Yeah, the jurors said we would like to continue until 4:15. So maybe somebody has a bus that they have to catch at 4:45, and they were like, the latest I can stay here is 4:15. And so maybe they did that. Maybe it's just that simple. Okay, clock stopped. I should be going in soon then. Okay, we're gonna find out here in just a minute. Stick around for another 5 minutes if you can. Then go back to your vacation. Yeah, the passing notes is funny to me. I wonder if they like fold them up like the football and then they flick it across the courtroom. Okay, here we go. I hear sounds. Ooh, I'm nervous.
Close the session, please be seated.
All right, so jurors, we all know how hard you've been working. It's been a long day. We're going to let you go home. We'll see you Monday morning at 9 o'clock. To the extent that you can, please just not think about this case this weekend. Clear your heads. We'll start fresh on Monday. So please follow those instructions. Do not discuss this case with anyone. Don't do any independent research or investigation into the case. If you happen to see, hear, or read anything about the case, please disregard it. We'll see you later. Thank you.
All right,
Coming back Monday.
Jurors, follow me.
Coming back Monday to continue. Son of a biscuit-eating bulldog.
Thank you. Be seated. Close still in session.
All right, we'll see you Monday morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I feel like everybody's looking a little less confident today. And we're back to the fan. Hello, fan. Try not to think about this case over the weekend.
Hey there, Karen Reed, trial watch.
Oh, thank you. Son of a bitch. The whole damn weekend now? We got to do this again on Monday? This is Bev's fault. She should have made him stay there and do their damn job. They should have stayed there, especially yesterday. You know, first day, okay, you still had testimony and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, we're going to get out of here on time. Second day, you have the person who needs to catch the bus. I don't know. I still think it's an issue. I think that they absolutely should have. She should have had him stay there. She shouldn't be letting them leave all the time. I'm not that committed that I'm going to check in on Monday. I just wanted this to be over. I wanted it to be over, and I'm not even in it. Like, how does this affect my life so much when it's not even my trial? This is dumb. Frustrating. Oh, wait, Jesse, I want to watch the fan instead. I don't... On which charge, though? I like all of them? Can they not agree on anything? kudos to the jurors for not budging just to get it over with. I agree with that too. So, but she still didn't, I'm wondering then, she doesn't talk to them about if they're still deadlocked. And so that means that they have made some type of progress. So now I'm really going with, it was a 10-2 and now it's an 11-1. Yeah, okay, so Slew thinks 3 were holding out and now 1 or 2 have caved. Kathy, you missed it. Yeah, back Monday morning, no decisions. They are not understanding reasonable doubt. She did not give them clear instructions. I'm worried about the public harassing the jurors. I actually think that in a high profile case like this, I think the jurors probably actually take that into consideration. I mean, think about what happened to the jurors after Casey Anthony was found not guilty, or the jurors after OJ was found not guilty. I mean, there wasn't even the immense social media at those trials that there now is. Damn it, Bev. Why didn't you just make him stay? Well, it's kind of funny though, R&M, because the media is typically the ones that are constantly reaching out to the jurors to try to get they're reaching out to the judge to get the juror list to become public, and then they're reaching out to the jurors for interviews, and then it's like, well, the public harasses them, and it's like, well, what are you doing? They need to talk about reasonable doubt. It's pretty black and white as far as that goes, in my opinion. That's why I think she needs to give them that other instruction, which makes me think that when they came back this afternoon, did she know that they are no longer deadlocked and that they are working towards a decision? Because if they were still deadlocked, maybe Monday morning she will give them the instruction. And right now she's just like, all right, just go. Just be done. Can you imagine if we come back Monday to find out that someone in the jury did their own research or talked to somebody about over the holiday weekend? Why won't she give that instruction? Like, what the hell is the downside? Well, it's, some call it like that you're putting down the hammer, and it almost forces the jurors to have to come to an agreement, and whichever side is on the lesser, does it create a compromise of their own beliefs and their right to have justice also. It didn't seem that their note was saying that they were deadlocked still. I heard the juror foreman has to ask for it specifically. Something's going to give because Thursday is a holiday and Bev ain't having it. Well, Bev has no problem taking days off and giving the jurors days off. She might just be like, okay. I mean, what was it? What was it? What week was it? Memorial week that we only had like 1 day of court, like a half a day. And she was like, that's fine. We're just going to take the rest of the week off. Deadlocked, hung. Same, like they're locked in their vote. Just like a hung jury. Bev isn't a regular judge. She's the cool judge. That's why they call her Aunt Bev. That's so bad. Hey, Migu's headphones. Not giving it. They haven't had questions other than one, etc. Like, they are clearly not understanding that most juries don't get to just do three-ish hours of deliberation a day. Right. Like, well, it's because she's allowed such a weird court schedule for them that they're like, we don't work past 4. So Turtle Boy said on Twitter that juror number 7's cheeks are red and it looks like she's been crying. All right, we'll go over to Twitter, see what's happening. This is Fall Rivers. Let's see what she posted. Effective July 9th. Nope, don't need that. Back in the courtroom, stay tuned. No verdict. Back Monday at 9. There's clearly at least one holdout in the Karen Reed jury. Do you feel it's a guilty or a not guilty holdout? I feel like it's a guilty holdout. There are other people who think it's a not guilty holdout, that the 10-2 is opposite. Let's look at Turtle Boys, see what he's saying. I don't know, he was out there taking pictures of babies today. I was like, what are you doing? This is crazy. Let's see, 18 hours was not nearly enough time. My email is criminality187@gmail. Juror number 7's cheeks were red. She looks like she's been crying. No matter what happens here, Karen is now and always will be innocent. That's all the protesters. Let's see Sue. No decision from the jury in the Karen Reed trial hours after saying they were deadlocked. They asked to go home for the weekend and continue deliberations Monday morning.
Alan, what's your reaction to the note? What will you do if it's a hung jury?
Karen, are you seeing a hopeful?
Nobody's as chatty as they have been.
Alan, what's your reaction to the note? What will you do if it's a hung jury?
This is earlier today. She knows how hard they've been working, but asked them to continue deliberating after lunch. Okay, not a lot of updates there.
Karen, are you seeing hopeful?
Yeah, everybody's less talkative today. Hey, TM. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to leave here around 10 p.m. tonight. I have to be there around midnight to get in line to try to get in the courtroom. Oh, are you going? Oh, I missed that comment. T, you think most of the jurors are saying guilty? No, I think most are saying not guilty. I think my thought was that it was a 10-2, a not guilty on second degree, a 10-2 split on involuntary, a no decision on count 3 because I believe count 3 kind of goes along with count 2. So that's where I was at going into this, and then I was kind of questioning my own thoughts when they came back this afternoon, because then I was like, they're not saying what count they're hung up on. So then I was confused. So yeah, I'm thinking no, but I have heard other people that have commented on other streams I was watching today that think the 10-2 split is 10 guilty to not guilty. I don't think they can decide on the first count because they didn't say anything about which count. Right. It's the 823 dash cam versus parents' house pick versus evidence pick of taillight. Doesn't matter what experts say. The holdouts are going with what they see. Lens gone in every one. Not gonna lie, I'm excited for the documentary. The behind the scenes will be fascinating. I want somehow I want somebody to have the transcripts so we can hear what happened in all the sidebars. I think that would be amazing. Like, can we request at the end of this just to get the sidebar transcripts? Hey, Moxie. Okay, so there's multiple notes that got passed today. There was a note that was sent from the jury this afternoon that said that they were unable, had exhausted all measures and were unable to reach an agreement, a verdict, and essentially saying we're deadlocked. We're not going to get there. She brings them into the courtroom. She sends them back and says continue to deliberate. 3:30, Judge Bev sends them a note like, hey, what's going on in there? You guys ready? And they come back and say, we would like to continue until 4:15. Then at 4:15, they come back into the courtroom and have said they are done for the day. They'll be back Monday. Babies love Turtle Boy. Everyone is pissed. I think I think a lot of people figured we'd have a verdict by now. You're talking 21 hours. This was at 19, but 21 hours so far. Was that the FBI and security in black shirts? On Twitter? Let me go back and look. I didn't see that. Let me see. I lean not guilty 100%. I lean not guilty based on the evidence presented, but I do not go with factually innocent. I'm not convinced of that. But they did not prove to me that she did it. But and I guess I can't go with factually innocent because I can't say I think I know what actually did happen. And I don't believe the defense theories. I don't believe the defense theory on that he went in the house and got beat up by the 3 guys in the basement. So, where was I at? Oh, right here. This one. Let me see.
What will you do if it's a hung jury?
Karen, are you seeing called for?
Alan, what's your reaction to the note?
Like these
What will you
guys?
do if it's a hung jury?
Karen, are you seeing called for?
I don't know. This guy looks like he's like a kid. These guys look young. Maybe there's like regular security. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I agree not enough to convict. I kind of think that Higgins beat him up in the yard. The security is definitely beefed up today. Well, I also think today's really one of the first days that we've had or seen a crew of people from the pro-prosecution side. And I know that people are like pro-Karen Reed and pro-John O'Keefe sides. To me, all the people there, in my opinion, think that they are fighting for justice for John O'Keefe. So I think no matter pink, blue, or whatever, because you know the pro-prosecution side was wearing blue, like back the blue. In my heart, I think most people are there thinking they are fighting for justice for John O'Keefe, no matter what side they believe that they're on. And I'm sure that there's others there just for shits and giggles, but I think that they all believe that they're fighting for what's just. So I don't say the same thing. Someone said she has hired security guards, as she should. How's long until they reach a verdict? That's if they even do. I think they are intimidated if it's a non-decision, the families will not come for them. There is an increased police presence. The buffer zone says no police uniforms, so they are just plainclothes cops, I think. Oh. Those guys look like kids, though. This guy looks like he's, I don't know, maybe I'm just old now, and even like the young, the 20s look like they're teenagers. Yeah, back the blue. Well, they're wearing blue. So I don't know. That's why I'm like, there's a lot of people referring to them as like the pro John O'Keefe, but I'm like, I don't think the pink is not pro John O'Keefe. I think they just believe that Karen is innocent and that something else happened to John. Most of them probably believing that the trio did something to John inside the house and that John was in the house. It does kind of look like Colin from behind. I don't think he'd be hanging out there, though. Oh, the voicemails. Okay, yeah, let me find those. Let me let the dog out first. Hold on. He's scratching at the door. Okay, let's see. Where do I want to go? Let's go back. We'll go back to law and crime. And I'm going to say it was like day 28. I could look at my notes. Who are the 5 protesters against Karen? Yeah, from Twitter, it sounds like it was the people who don't like Turtle Boy, but I don't know enough about all of those people to know the who's who or what's what. I'm not up in any of the personal stuff. I just know there is personal stuff, but I don't know what any of the people look like. So I don't want to comment on it and be completely wrong. Okay, I think voicemails are day 28 with Guarino. Let's see. I'll pull up 27. If it's not 27, it's 28. No, 27 is, sorry, it wouldn't be 27 anyway. 27 is the voir dire day. That's 27. So then it's 26. We'll go here. It's with Guarino that they play in.
They both do great work with, anymore. That's fine, but I don't want to.
Sir, if I could direct you to the top.
That database where the call logs are sent.
Maybe it is
going to have a
29.
corresponding wall.
Does anybody happen to know if it was 20?
I'm sorry, whose phone?
It's Reed's phone.
Oh,
I mean 28. Maybe it is 28.
The software we use to try to bypass passwords to. Thank you.
That's the text.
4 a.m.
Oh, wait, hold on. It may have been them. No, that's just Lolly breathing or Guarino breathing.
All right, so please, those 3 cautions: do not discuss this case with anyone. Don't do any independent research or investigation into this case. If you happen to see, hear, or read anything about this case.
Hold on, it might be 28 then. We will find it. We will find it.
Are they ready to come in? Thank you.
I'm looking for, is it day 26 or day 28 that the voicemails that Karen left on John's phone are played? Can't remember which day it was.
We'll just go right
So that's what a couple people in chat wanted to see that. I wanted to hear them. My notes for that are handwritten from when I was gone, so they're not as easily accessible.
I'm showing you a document asking for.
But she can't testify as an expert on police activity. There'll be.
They're 3 seconds and 5 seconds long.
And they're listed as answers, is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, sir, if I could turn your attention over to
I think
Mr.
they're gonna
O'Keefe's
be right here.
call report. And specifically, I'm going to ask you to direct your attention to what's been labeled as box number 134 and then 134 with the 1 in parentheses following.
Okay.
And do you see those entries, sir?
Yes.
And
You
what
think
is
it was day
the date
27?
and time associated
Day
with those
27
entries
is,
in Mr. O'Keefe's records?
The
His
voir
records
dire with
shows
the other guys.
number
Nobody
134 is 12:36, 9 seconds on the 29th, and then 134 with the one in the parentheses,
But I think it's
12:36
fake
and 9
now.
seconds as well.
I'll pull it
But
up.
Call duration 0 seconds.
I didn't care that much about it
And
one
as
way or
far
the
as
other.
any indication on those
To be
calls,
honest
as
with
far as
you,
whether
whether
they're
it's fake
answered,
or
they're
not,
missed, they're rejected, or what are they?
because I don't care.
Mr. S?
I don't care if he's like
There's
bugging on
nothing.
her.
Also,
Hey,
133 is the same call. And that one says missed, and it's at the same timestamp of 12:36 and 9 seconds.
She sent them home.
So
They'll
the
be back
same
Monday.
call around the same time
Sure.
frame shows up in Mr. O'Keefe's report as missed and shows up in the defendant's report as answered, correct?
That is correct.
It was
And that's around the
Thursday.
time that the defendant is
6:20 for
calling
sure.
the victim
Okay,
repeatedly
so that's
and leaving
I'd say
voicemails on
29
Mr. O'Keefe's
then.
phone.
Yes, that's correct.
May I approach just to retrieve, Your Honor?
the 27 was Tuesday, right?
Yes.
I don't know. What did you guys think about the picture with that supposedly of Alan Jackson and Karen Reed? Whichever. It's his testimony right here. I
Now,
also
Mr.
read
Marino,
that
you
Judge
conducted
Pickett
an
had your
analysis of
two
both
people that were
the
served as
defendant's phone and
jurors
Mr.
in
O'Keefe's phone,
Massachusetts
correct?
said that's not.
That's correct.
Oh,
And
I
from your
did
analysis
really.
of that phone, were you able to determine approximately how many calls occurred from the defendant's phone to Mr. O'Keefe's phone from the time period shortly after 12:30 a.m. To the time period shortly after 6 a.m.?
There was over 50. I think it was 53
You
or
haven't seen it?
55.
Okay,
but-
I'll pull it up.
And
Once I find
any
these
of those
things, I'll play
calls
'em.
from your review of those records indicate any sort of conversation as far as duration, as far as being labeled as answered, anything to that effect?
That Mr. O'Keefe actually picked up the phone and spoke to Ms. Reed?
I know it's coming up right
I
here.
know.
Now, with regards to those phone calls from the defendant to Mr. O'Keefe, what, if anything, did you find from Mr. O'Keefe's phone in relation to voicemails left by the defendant?
There were should be 8 voicemails on Mr. O'Keefe's phone from the 29th till the phone was discovered. All from Ms. Reed, no one else.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna pause this real quick. I'm gonna bring up the video. It's a what do they call them? Like motion picture, like when you're like. It's not like a.
I got caught up. I just got the call, and their own experts were
saying shit that we watched. Like they don't care about the experts.
Yeah, live photo. Thank you.
I got caught up. I just got the call, and their own experts were
saying shit that we watched. Like they don't care about the experts.
Yes, you did, TV. Yes, you did. They both have veins in their arm.
I got caught up. I just got the call, and their own experts were
saying shit that we watched. Like they don't care about the experts.
I was replaying, but the proof is they both have veins in their arm. I used to watch the matches with his white dial Rolex detail.
I got caught up.
Sure. So people are like, if it's real, then he has a very weird forearm. Like his forearm is like really long. And then after I read that comment, I couldn't stop looking at his freaking forearm. I was like, is his forearm really long? What? Like, does AJ have? And then I'm like, does AJ have abnormally long forearms? And then I was like, I don't really care. They're taking a picture. The one is telling her to come over to the picture, and he's stopping her from going over there. I don't know. I mean, there's a slight brush of a boob. So I'm like right here, like I'm like, I don't know.
got caught up.
I don't even know if I care.
I just thought
I don't know if you guys saw the little slight
got caught up.
right there.
I just thought and their own.
But he immediately like moved his hand. There's like 5 people at dinner. Yeah, I mean, there's pictures of him wearing the same outfit, sitting at the table. I mean, he does have veins in his arms. Just like AJ has veins in his arms. Have you seen the defense version? No, what do you mean? Somebody posted this next to the picture that was taken, and I can tell you right now that that was not the picture that was taken. So I don't know why they even thought it was. I was like, okay, that's not going to help this. That's not going to help the cause. But I'm like, I'm not. How much do I actually? I don't even know if I care. But like now you guys are all staring at his forearm, right? Look at how long his arm is. His arm's from here to over there. He's got really long forearms. Now every time you guys look at it, you're gonna be like, okay, let me look at his forearm. He's happily married, and anything else is none of my business. I don't. But I mean, you spend this much time with somebody. I don't. It doesn't really matter to me that he's like messing around, like not. I don't mean like sexually, but I mean like messing around, like goofing around with her and like pulling her back from the picture. And he had a couple drinks. He accidentally touches her boob and he moves his hand away. I don't know. I don't really care. Yeah, I just don't. Well, they're stalking him because I mean, it's huge. It's the same reason that people are following everybody else around. That's what they do. You're gonna get a lot of views on something like that. Yeah, I don't. I guess for me, like I said, I looked at it. I was like, okay, is it real or is it fake? And then I was like, I don't actually care if it's real or if it's fake because it's not something. If it is real, that I care about. And it's not something that if it's fake matters, except for the fact that people make a bunch of fake shit, which I'm not new to. People have made fake shit about with me a lot on YouTube and social media. It's fucking weird. People do it. Some people are fucking weird. I don't know. There's nothing about it. So I'm like, I don't care. If they were making out, then I think it would be different. He's just grabbing her from behind, stopping her from going over to take a picture, like goofing around with her. They obviously have known each other and spent a lot of time together lately. And I can say, like, I've had guys that are happily married give me like hugs and have accidentally touched things that they probably shouldn't. And they're like, oh, fuck, I'm so sorry. Or, oh, shit, I'm so sorry. It does happen. I mean, they don't even have to be drinking to actually, but, you know, maybe they do it on purpose. I don't know. But it's not a big deal to me. Yeah, they're just over here playing grab ass. Why they're not allowed to play grab ass at the bar? The guy on the right on the all the way around looks more like AJ to me. What do you mean? Isn't this the photo with is the real photo of this? Is this not the microdots guy and Yannetti? Somebody will tell me if I'm wrong because I think that's the actual photo. Yeah, boob graze, guilty. Wonder if she took her shoes off. All right, let me see. Oh, you want me to show that, Susan? I can show that too. I just have to pull it up. You said R&M was talking about it? Okay. Give me 1 second. I'll grab it. Why can't I find you, Susan? Where are you? There you are.
I'm lucky to be standing here. I'm in pain. It's been a brutal week, and I'm sort of getting through it.
Gordon Ramsay is on the mend after a terrifying accident. The culinary icon and TV personality revealed a jaw-dropping injury he suffered after crashing his bike recently, telling fellow cyclists and dads to be safe as they celebrated Father's Day weekend. Gordon sent a video message on Instagram, lifting his chef's jacket to show a massive bruise covering much of his torso. He admitted that the experience left him shaken, but grateful for the medical team that's helping him make a full recovery, noting in his caption that he looks like a, quote, purple potato, but did not break any bones.
You know how much I love cycling and triathlons and Ironman, etc. This week, unfortunately, I had a really bad accident, and it really shook me. And honestly, I'm lucky to be here. Now, from those incredible trauma surgeons, doctors, nurses in the hospital that looked after me this week, they were amazing. I'm lucky to be standing here. I'm in pain. It's been a brutal week, and I'm sort of getting through it.
The 57-year-old also included before and after photos in his post, showing his pre-ride fit and his helmet after the impact, and he credited the headwear for saving his life.
Honestly, you've got to wear a helmet. I don't care how short the journey is. I don't care, the fact that these helmets cost money, but they're crucial. Even with the kids, a short journey, they've got to wear a helmet. Now, I'm lucky to be standing here.
So that's kind of, it's interesting just in comparison to like the injuries that he has. Okay, so, hold on. Let me go pull that up then. So Masshole Mafia. I'm being accused by Free Karen Reed people of photoshopping this 100% real life photo and associated stills from the live photo of Karen Reed and her attorney clearly being intimate. That is not clearly being intimate to me. I don't know. Maybe they have a different definition of what intimate is. In front of a bar last night. Wrong. Please note the group photo posted by someone else of them dining on the North End earlier in the evening. Same clothes, same hairline on Jackson. It's real. They are most likely fucking. That's a stretch. Nice try though. The entire defense team is beyond unethical because they went out to dinner and he put his arms around her. Someone send this to AJ's wife stat. Wow. Okay, so here's the dinner picture. Okay, so it's this guy, right? And then little AJ, Yannetti, Karen. And she's like, can't go anywhere. Everybody's taking pictures of me. Oh, that's the other picture. Okay, so let's see. Here's the video again. His forearm still looks weird, but this is weird. That's a really long forearm, is it not? Sorry, I can't stop looking. I can't stop looking at it. I can't stop looking at the forearm. Once again, I don't think this means anything about them doing anything. It's a big jump. If somebody touches somebody that they're fucking, I don't agree with that. And like send it to his wife. The dinner picture is weeks old. That is an old picture. And I actually thought it was a lunch picture. This was like a lunch picture when they were out on a day they didn't have court, because I remember seeing it. You must be the only one that thinks that the forearm is normal. I don't know. I couldn't. You can fake metadata. Once again, like I said, I don't care. But this picture, I think, is when they were out to lunch. When they were out to lunch, and maybe that's this one. Maybe I'm confusing them. That might be this one. I wasn't paying attention to their fucking outfits, so I don't know. But it very well could be. It could be that other one. This is the photo you're thinking of. Well, thank you, masshole. I didn't know that you were in my brain. You know there's a movie being filmed, right? There is? I thought they were doing a documentary. Okay, so here, and then I want to look at let me look at microdots. Because I swear that's the photo. I'm going to look just to see. Isn't there one of like him and, maybe I'm wrong. Is it him and Karen? No, I swear there was like with one of him and Jackson. Why are these all so old? Oh, dumb. Maybe no. I'm thinking of one with him and Yannetti. But it does. It looks like it's that other guy's shirt, and it looks like that's Yannetti. So I don't know. The metadata don't matter if it was uploaded to Twitter. Yeah, his wife is there in Boston with him, and their 10-year-olds, and their 10 Mo. I think they're saying 10-year-old, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Look at the vehicles in the background of the video. Okay, let me go back. See, but that shirt looks like the shirt that's in the photo right here. Look at the background. Look at the vehicles in the background of the video. Hold on, TB. Why is there 2 taillights on one of the vehicles in the background and an extra wheel on the other vehicle? Think of where you mean, like right here? Hold on, someone's messaging me. I don't know, C-Dub, that picture that you sent looks like it's just the still shot from here. It looks like it's the same 2 people to me. Which looks like if it's not Photoshop, it would just be Karen and AJ. Somebody else tried to say that it looked like the person was bald. I didn't see that. I'm trying to think of where the taillights are. This person that TB's talking about in chat. And there's an extra wheel on something. Honestly, you guys, I don't know if I care enough. I don't care enough about it. Like I said, I don't care that if it's real. I mean, I guess it's good to know that somebody's out there faking more shit and to know who did it, but I don't even know if you're going to be able to prove that even if it is fake. That's also a very weird shot right there. Is it like a reflection? Look at that's fucking weird right there. I don't even know how I got that, but I don't like that. That was weird. It's got to be like the people inside. I think there's going to have, I think it's through this glass. So I think there's going to be a lot of weird reflection things that are happening that you may see things on vehicles that aren't really there. Yeah, I don't know. Once again, like I said, though, I honestly I just don't find it to be an issue if it's real. So I don't really know if I care. This one seems really grainy. Oh, thank you very much for that. I appreciate you too. DB, hey, would you mind sending the PDF for Bloom's book? Now there's a PDF of Bloom's book floating around. Those two people are definitely not the same. I can't zoom in on my computer. Why are that two taillights in the background? Yeah, I don't know. That's where that's kind of where I'm at. Like I just don't know if I care. Oh, a 10-month-old. He's a 10-month-old? Oh, that's what that meant. I guess I didn't even put that into perspective like a months, because I wasn't thinking that he had a. I wasn't thinking that he'd have a kid that young. No, the one you sent me, I just looked at it when I was over there. Sorry, I'll grab it real quick though. It's just here, this one. That looks like the same two people to me. No? So that, yeah, this is the one that C-Dub sent. That it's like looks like it's two different people. I don't think it is. I think it's I think it's them, or it's meant to be them. But I mean, AI does a lot of stuff. I don't, like I said, but I don't care. Now I guess if there's one that comes out of them like making out, I think there's a different issue. That's where I'm at with it. You see two people fighting in the light pixels. They're not fighting. They're just playing grab ass. Playing grab ass. It's not a fight. Did I miss somebody else's? Oh, that was Kelt's. Okay. Kelt's going back to vacay. I don't trust anything anymore, especially if the prosecution tells us no computer-related stuff is reliable. And then they're like, trust our computer-related stuff. Yeah. Well, I mean, I can save it. I'll save it. Hold on. I save it. I can zoom in. I mean, but where's the rest of the picture? Like, this is a still shot from the picture, which is as bad as the other ones. Does this, if this is supposed to be the real one and it's not supposed to be them, then where's the motion video part of it? The motion photo part of it? You know what I'm saying? Because, well, this is a video and it's a still shot from the video. So is it supposed to be that this is Karen and this is another guy that Karen is with? Yeah. I mean, the arm in this still shot, the arm still has a little, it's so skinny here and it's so long, like it's stretched out. All right. But the people in the pic I sent you match the bodies way more than the one released today. Looks like a different, to me. Looks like a different dude. Or you think it looks like a completely different couple? I don't know. I want to see the, I don't want to see the whole motiony thing then. Show me the whole real motiony thing. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I don't trust anything. It says, deny all you want, cultist. You've been fooled. This video is 100% real. Oh my gosh. Hi, ATS. I sent you something interesting. Okay, let me go look at that. Let me go look at that. I don't know. I don't know if it's real or fake. I guess that would probably have been the simplest answer to the question at the beginning of this whole thing. Okay. Ooh, what's this? Paul O'Keefe focusing in on juror number 1, the foreman and retired police officer, and nods his head up and down. Hold on.
Instructions: do not discuss this case with anyone.
Don't message me
unless you
want to be on
research
YouTube.
and investigation into the case. If you happen to see, hear, or read anything about the case, please disregard it. Receive it. Thank you.
All rise in court, please. Jurors, follow me.
Thank you. Be seated. Close still section.
All right, we'll see you Monday morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hold on, let me go back to the beginning. I didn't see anything.
All right. So jurors, we all know how hard you work. It's been a long day. We're going to let you go home. We'll see you Monday morning at 9 o'clock. To the extent that you can, please just not think about this case this week and clear your heads. We'll start fresh.
Focusing in on juror number 1, the foreman and retired police officer, and nods his head up and down.
Don't do any independent research or
I don't see that.
investigation into the case. If you happen to see, hear, or read anything about the case, please disregard it. Receive it. Thank you.
All rise in court, please. Jurors, follow me.
I don't see him doing anything.
Thank you. Be seated. Close still section.
All right, we'll see you Monday morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't see anything there. I don't know where that person came up with it.
Please be seated.
All right. So jurors, we all know how hard you
Hold on, what did I say out loud? What did I say out loud? Yeah, the rumors are insane. I don't know. That one's weird. I saw nothing. They're not even showing him here. They show him here. And I don't think the dude's head barely moves. Yeah, I mean, unless he's making eye contact, or how do you even know that? All right, like that little tiny thing, like the. Hold on, right here, like this little teeny tiny. Right there, see, like a little, it was like a little teeny tiny head move. I don't even. You see it right there? This is the tiniest little head move. I don't think so. Right there. Oh, maybe his head was just kind of heavy. I don't know. I don't know. That one's too much for me. It's like, hello. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see that being. Man, people are crazy sometimes. They just come up with all kinds of crazy shit. I mean, if he was like, and how do we know that he was even looking at the foreman? And how do we know that that guy's the retired cop? I keep hearing that there's a retired cop on there and a lawyer, and I don't see proof of either one. All right, so what were we gonna do today? What were we gonna do today? People are tripping. I know this case needs to be over. It's like nonstop. Let me get out of this. Okay, we're gonna go. Oh, that's what we were doing. We're going back here. Oh my goodness! Like that took a long time to stay away from this. We were trying to find the voicemails. Dang, get back on track, Teresa. No verdict. No verdict. Coming back Monday.
Yes. What do you recognize that?
Here it is.
It's the John O'Keefe voicemails from Karen Reed on his phone.
I'm so ready
From
for
that period that we were just speaking about.
Problem is if it comes back with a hung jury, do you guys think that they're going to retry it? You know what? I'm actually going to pull the live up. I'm going to do a poll. Hopefully I don't hear myself talking. I probably will. You know what? I'm actually going to get rid of that real quick. Let's do a poll. Why we listen to these. It's so time to be over. So if it ends up with a hung jury, does the Commonwealth retry? If hung jury, will CW retry the case? Yes. Yes, but with. But without, let's see this, without second degree. Oh no. DB, yeah, I'm apparently going to ignore that clear evidence because I didn't see none of that. Okay, so if hung jury, will the Commonwealth retry the case? Yes, no, or yes, but without second degree. Do they think that they screwed it up by doing that? Susan, you know, I keep saying that, but yet others are like, no, 4 people testified to it. And I'm like, yeah, that's dumb. 4 people did not hear her say that. No, DB, they did not. Oh, gosh, no. Hey, Trash Panda, the judge ruled today that Sarah Boone forfeited her right to counsel. No way. She's gotten rid of 8 attorneys. And I think the second to last attorney said that nobody's going to be able to represent her because she knows this better than anybody else. And she's the only one that's going to be able to do it. Okay, East Coast Beauty, thank you for being here. All right, so we're coming up on the calls now.
Out on January 29th.
Yes, that's correct.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm going to introduce in a minute the next exhibit.
We have no objection.
Okay.
Now, sir, from your review of the defendant's phone, before we get to those, from your review of the defendant's phone, what, if anything, were you able to observe or ascertain that the defendant's phone did at approximately 12:36 a.m.?
So by looking at the timeline in the phone, we're able to see that Ms. Reed's phone auto-connected to John O'Keefe's Wi-Fi at his house at 12:36 a.m. They know this because it's a password-protected access to the phone. So you would have to know the password to get into this Wi-Fi network.
And that would be the home in 1 Meadows Avenue, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, if we could publish each of the 8 voicemails to the jury.
Okay. Are we going to hear which time each one is?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sarah Boone's gonna go pro se. She's such a fucking nightmare. I just glanced at her like.
And Trooper Guarino, again, similar to the other messages, just for point of reference, the earliest of the voicemails is the last in the list, and the most recent is at the top of the list. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, as far as this first voicemail, what time did this occur?
12:37 a.m.
The audio is so bad, though.
With the court's permission, if I could play that for the jury.
Yes.
Ms. Gilman, if you could have the second message.
Hey, Amber.
Sorry, Ms. Gilman, if you could pause right there, please. I apologize. I just wanted the siren to go by.
Oh, that's fine.
And before Ms. Gilman presses play again, Trooper Garino, what time is the second message?
12:42.
Ms. Gilman, if you could.
There's nothing on this one but the sound of her walking. She doesn't take her shoes off. TV.
Now, Trooper Garino, with reference to the third message, what time is that received?
12:59.
And again, when I say received by Mr. O'Keefe's phone, is that correct?
That's the timestamp of the voicemail in his phone, yes.
And Ms. Gilman, if you could, with reference to that third message.
John, I'm telling you, fucking kid. Nobody knows what the fuck you want, fucking pervert.
Now, the fourth message, Trooper Garino, what time was that received by Mr. O'Keefe's phone?
1:02 a.m.
Ms. Gilman, if you could, when you're ready.
That was it.
So can we just turn the air conditioner off for just a second, please? So you just played it?
Yeah, Your Honor, there was no
That one has nothing.
content.
They
It was
played
just
it anyway.
like a 1 second long.
Matches all the evidence that Lolly has in this case. There's no evidence in this case.
And Trooper Garino, with regard to the fifth message, what time was that received by Mr. O'Keefe's phone?
37, 2, yeah, 1:11 a.m. Excuse me.
And Ms. Gilman, if you could.
Yeah, it's 1 in the morning. I'm with your fucking niece and nephew. You fucking pervert. You're a fucking pervert.
And the sixth message, sir, what time was that received by Mr. O'Keefe's phone?
1:18 a.m.
Gilman, if you could.
John, I'm going home. I cannot babysit your niece. I need to go home. You are fucking using me right now. You're fucking another girl. You sleeping next to me. You're a fucking loser. Fuck yourself.
The seventh message, sir, what time was that received by Mr. O'Keefe's phone?
5:23 a.m.
Gilman, if you could. The last and eighth message, sir, what time was that received by Mr. O'Keefe's phone?
6:08 a.m.
Ms. Gilman, if you could. Gilman, if you could pause there for 1 second, I'm sorry. With respect to this message received on Mr. O'Keefe's phone at 6:08 a.m., from your knowledge of the investigation, where was the defendant, who, if anyone, was with her or around her at the time of this message at 6:08 a.m.?
Jen McCabe, Kerry Roberts. During the message, you can hear someone on the phone with 911.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Gilman, if you could.
All right, I'm gonna stop it there because we've listened to this one now multiple times. That's the one that's caught on John's voicemail. So essentially, there's 8 voicemails total. 2 of the voicemails have no words. One of which is the sound of walking, where you can hear the heels. That's the 12:42 one. One is just nothing. That even Bev's like, I didn't hear that. Can we turn off the air conditioner? And they're like, no, Bev. It's okay. There's nothing on that one. We're just playing it for funsies. So 12:37. So she connects to the internet at 12:36 at his house. 12:37. She leaves him the voicemail saying, I fucking hate you. 12:42. She's walking. 12:59. She says, John, I'm here with your fucking kids. No one knows where the fuck you are. You fucking pervert. I think that's also weird. No one knows where the fuck you are at 12:59. Like, who else has she talked to know where he would be? She dropped him off. So I don't know. That one was kind of weird to me. The 102 is the completely blank one. 111 is the it's 1 a.m. I'm here with your niece and nephew. You fucking pervert. You're a fucking pervert. I don't understand the pervert stuff. 118, she says, John, I'm going home. I cannot babysit your niece. I need to go home. You're fucking with me right now, and you're out there fucking another girl. Something about like you're using me, you fucking loser. You fuck yourself. And then at 523, there's the I didn't even understand what that one was. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was something. It was very high pitched and more concerned, I guess you could say. But I didn't even understand what it was. And then the 608 is the one that's caught on his voicemail worth the 911 call. That's I literally did not think about the swinging being a realistic thing until those voice messages. I was like, that's just another rumor out there. No one as in herself and the kids. But I mean, she would know. She dropped him off. She just dropped him off right before that. That voicemail where she says, no one knows where the fuck you are, is at 12:59. Oh, Scotty Skulls, that's interesting. It's just not like the first insult I would go to, but maybe. I think she said that I am with your kids because she was trying to get him to respond. The niece voicemail and no reply. I think he was dead. But she says, I'm babysitting your kids. Like, I can't babysit your kids. First she's saying, and your kids are alone. And in the text message, she's saying your kids are alone. But the nephew wasn't there. I don't even know if she realized yet that the nephew wasn't there. Pervert because she thinks he's with the young girl? What girl would have been there, though? I mean, if they left the bar with... He would have been going back with Jen McCabe and Nicole Albert. Why'd she call her elderly parents at 1 a.m.? That's a great question. That's a great question. I want to know why was she calling her parents? Like, because she was drunk and couldn't drive and she didn't want to be there, so she was hoping somebody would come and get her because if she stayed the night, she knew the storm was coming in the morning. Maybe pervert because it's a teen college-age person's birthday party thing. I mean, maybe. Or maybe he just makes some snide comment to her, like, yeah, maybe Brian Jr.'s got some hot friends in there that I can go hang out with. You know, just to fucking like poke a bear. He could have. Hey, maybe he said something like that. It could have all just been in jest. I don't know. I would love to know, but I don't. It's something I think we'll never know. But she was like in her 20s. Oh, about Caitlyn, because she was at the waterfall. That's true. Maybe he made a comment about Caitlyn. I mean, Jen has a pretty daughter, Allie. Allie is pretty. She was cute. I liked Allie. Unless he walked over to Bella's mom's house. Or maybe she's thinking that. Like, he went over to Bella's mom's house. Because now she's all tied up on this whole Bella thing because Jen told them it's like, oh, like over by Bella's. Hey, Scott. Hey, my girls call me when needed. But so exactly, like I would have called my dad too. So when did why would she need them at 1 a.m.? Why would she need her parents at 1 a.m.? The only thing I could come up with in my own thought was that she wanted to leave there, and she knew she couldn't drive that far. You know, I've made the mistake of having a couple drinks and being down the street and thinking, okay, it's just down the street, I'll drive home. But I wouldn't be driving no half hour to my parents' house. You know what I mean? Kaylee had been alone already, though. She was alone all night. Kaylee was already there and alone. So I don't know why. I mean, she didn't want to leave her alone for the entire evening. Marietta? Karen? It's probably just a butt dial. She didn't mean to call her parents. It was just a butt dial. Oh, God, that would have been hilarious. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Yeah, just because it was an overnight thing. Hey, Granny. Fighting with John and wanting to go home to mom and dad. Yeah. She did tell Aaron earlier that day, like, what was the text she had sent her just when Aaron was like, is everything okay? And Karen said something along the lines of just regretting 2020 or something like that, or going back to John in 2020, something along those lines. I don't know, that was a testimony from a long ass time ago. Feels like it was like last year. Yeah, and you don't have a lot of friends in that area. So, like, I mean, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it was something like that. Regretting meeting the O'Keefes again in 2020 or something. Yeah. Shmita. If I knew my mom was off work in the morning, I'd totally call her at 1 a.m. to bitch about something. Don't even need to be drunk, just that mad. Oh, that's funny. Hey, I mean, she didn't need to drive there. She could have Ubered, but just not wanted to scare them. So that actually brings me, as we're talking about her parents, let me pull up this article. Somebody was talking about it the other day, and I was like, I remember that, and what they were saying about what was said, it was not how I remembered it. You know, her dad's name is the same as my grandpa's name. Isn't that weird? First and last, yeah. William Reed. We called him, my grandpa was Bill, but his name was William. So this is an article with William Reed, Karen's dad, but back from August of 2023. So somebody was like trying to tell me, like, even her own dad said he knew she did it, blah, blah, blah. Look up an article. And I'm like, okay, I'll look up the article. But then, of course, I think I forgot to pull it up. Am I holding out? Am I related to Karen? Not that I'm aware of. My grandpa passed away. That grandpa passed away a long time ago. So it's definitely that he's not my grandpa, but can you guys even see this? Probably not. Let me look. So the parents of a woman charged in Boston police officer's death say they're confident in their daughter's innocence as her legal fight continues. Karen Reed, the girlfriend of late Boston police officer John O'Keefe, has been accused of backing over her boyfriend in Canton, Mass, and leaving him to die in January 2022. She was charged with second-degree murder, motor vehicle manslaughter, and leaving the scene of a collision in connection with John O'Keefe's death. The case has drawn national attention over claims of a cover-up. 18,000, blah, blah, blah. In Massachusetts, second-degree murder includes when a person intentionally kills another without premeditation. So her dad says, we'll resolve these issues. This is what he told investigative reporter Ted Daniel. My daughter will be free. That's what I believe. William Reed said his daughter told him that she thought she struck something while she was at Good Samaritan Hospital in Brockton, where O'Keefe was pronounced dead. The father denied that Karen Reed thought she struck O'Keefe. So the whole point was like this person was telling me, like, even her dad says that she told him that she did it. And he says, no, William Reed said. She felt she struck something. She said, Dad, I think I struck something. I said, what do you mean? This was in the hospital, she says. I remember backing up and hitting something, but I can't say what it was. And he says, at this point, she was frantic. So, but she already knew she'd hit something at that point. She'd already been talking about hitting something. Am I frozen? Why is my chat not loading? Hold on, I can't see anybody's comments. Yeah, let me get rid of the chat. Let's see if that helps. That's weird. It's got like old comments that I know I already read. Okay, hold on. Here we go. She did strike something. She hit the other car. Yeah, O'Keefe's car. Anyone care that the expert says car accident not possible? That's the weird part to me. The expert's not hired by either side, so they didn't have to come in and give this opinion, said that he was not hit by a car and her car did not hit him. That, I don't know. That's a crazy thing to get past. Like, to believe Paul, like Trooper Paul over the two experts not hired by either side. I don't know. I think you're forgetting how insanely hectic, overwhelming, and stressful that morning would be, though. Well, yeah, and if she doesn't even realize that she hit John's car, like if she's not even sure, like she hit John's car, now John's gone, that she's got a broken taillight, like it all makes sense to me why she would be like, did I hit him? Like, there's no way I hit him, right? Like, I didn't hit him. Like, well, shit, I hit something. Did I hit him? There's no way I hit him. Like, I can see that going through somebody's mind. Hit John's car. I did the same to my neighbor's car and felt it. No damage to either car. I bumped into a couple things like that. I literally have the memory of a goldfish. I probably wouldn't remember after that fucking morning. That's not true. You have a great memory. What are you talking about? On the stuff that you actually want to remember, I should say. Where do you stand now? Do you think she's guilty for a long time? Karen, I don't think she was. I don't know that. I don't understand that question, but it's not to me, so I guess I don't need to. Catastrophe says, and the glass thrown is no match glass on the bumper. We're just supposed to think that there's just random ass glass that ends up on Karen Reed's bumper that matches nothing? Where the hell is it? Where the hell did that come from? Is anybody asking where the hell did this glass come from? That's crazy to me. The criminality. If you believe those experts, and that means that she didn't hit him, why do you still wonder if she's guilty? That's a great question, Susan. I don't know. Because it's very odd. Why do I think that she could potentially be guilty? It's very odd to me that his phone doesn't move after 12:32. Even if they're looking for it later and they find it in the basement, why doesn't his phone move? Why isn't his phone moving? I think it's almost like I can't come up with the most reasonable explanation of what happened to him. So I still think, like, shit, could she have done it? But then you're right, because I do believe the experts when they're like, no, it just doesn't make sense. And one of the things that I needed was them to prove to me that that car hit that body, and they didn't do that. I don't know. I don't know, Susan. I have no answers. Hammy, are you serious? No way. Okay, hold on. People, yeah, people. That is interesting to me. There's so much reasonable doubt that I would not be able to sit in there and think that she was guilty. I would not be able to vote her guilty. Like, did I eat today? I do that all the time. I'm like, did I eat today? I've asked Bob the same thing, Susan. All right, fine. I don't know. It's true though. I do. I believe them. Susan's got me all discombobulated. No, the pieces of glass found on Karen's bumper do not match the glass from the waterfall that was found near John O'Keefe's body. But it does match another random piece of glass found at the scene that also doesn't match the glass. So I'm trying to figure out, how is there a glass if it's just regular old debris and it was like plowed onto her car? Well, there's not a plow. How did it get on her car and also a piece be at the scene? If that piece from the scene matches the pieces on her car, oh yeah, doesn't match. It's inconsistent or consistent with. You're right. I apologize. No exact answers. Does anyone wonder what Trooper Paul's been up to this week? Probably just buried in a bottle of scotch or Tito's. Karen connected to John's Wi-Fi at 12:36. It's a minimum of 7 minutes, 3.3 mile distance. She didn't hit him. Well, if she hits him at 12:28 or 12:29, or I think Lolly in his closing now changed it to 12:25, like she hits him within a minute of being there. It goes more along with the fact that I think that he got out of the car, either slipped and fell or went through the back, and did get the dog did come up to him and he slips and falls and hits his head. But then none of it makes sense to me, because then you have the medical examiner who comes on and says that he would have been rendered unconscious immediately. That does not add up to me, because he has vomit on his clothes. He cannot be rendered unconscious immediately unless was he knocked down twice? But I mean, then why is he vomiting? The vomiting would be from the head injury. The vomit's from the head injury, but he's knocked out. So how does he vomit on his own clothes down on himself if he's rendered unconscious and laying on the ground? So then I think like the 12:32 is him like going, holy shit, like I just got fucked up and now I gotta get out of here and get to a hospital or something. I'm gonna go back and find Karen, and she's gone, and he passes out in the snow after he's thrown up all over himself. There's like, none of this stuff makes any sense. You can't have all those things. Hi, Heavy Metal Rehab. Oh, my trip was great. It was great. We had a great time. She did an awesome job. You think he vomits due to drunkenness, and then he's going to go and hang out at this house with these people that he barely knows? He's like, yeah, sorry guys, I just threw up all over myself. And there's other profiles on his bloody shirt. There is. That's why I'm like, I can't. Do we know it's vomit? Well, nobody ever said it wasn't vomit. They only ever said it was. So what else do you think it would be? They say when they pick up his clothes, it smells like it smells like vomit. It looks like vomit. In some of the original documents and in court, they were talking about that there was vomit on his boxers. But Buchanan said that was when they got his clothes, it just smelled like vomit. His clothes were on the hospital floor, but they get vomit on them. Okay. Yeah. He's just gonna. Sorry, guys, I just threw up on myself. CW says, nurse for 25 years. I've seen people with a head injury puke. If he did that, then someone sat him up. It could end up on his clothes. That makes me think then that there obviously is other people involved, and then that goes away from my theory of that he is walking at 12:32. But I don't buy the whole she's calling his phone to find it so that she can put it outside with him. Or maybe they are calling it and they realize it's already outside with them and they don't have to move the phone. All right, let me see. We already had the poll, so let's go in and see. If the jury is hung, will the CW retry the case? 24% said yes. 23% said yes, but without second degree. And then 52% said no. So essentially, there is a 50-50 split on whether you guys think that the Commonwealth will actually retry her. I'm in the 50% that I think no. I don't think they will. I think they'll pretend like they're going to, but I don't think they will. And it will probably depend on a couple of factors. So we obviously don't know yet. So this is all just thoughts and speculation at this point. It'll depend on what the split was. You know, if let's say it's an 11-1, 11 guilty, 1 not guilty, then the state would be like, all right, we were really close there. If it's a 6-6, then they're going to have to think about it. If it's 11-1 the other way, I don't think they're going to want to do it. Because I don't think that the Commonwealth is not going to be convinced that they're going to be able to find a jury to convict her. See, I think that they would just pretend like they're going to. Like, we're not done here. We're going to keep going. And then I think it also depends on what happens with the FBI investigation. And probably what happens with Proctor. You think they're too embarrassed to not retry? Okay, if they retry the case, is it Lolly? Or another prosecutor? Give Lolly to the jurors. You know, if they were to listen to they're like, oh, we want to hear like this piece of testimony or something, and that they allow it, they'd be like, can we do it on 2 times speed? It's Lolly, it's direct. We want to do it on 2 times speed. Hi, Gam. Al says, I disagree. A mistrial is good for the defense and terrible for the CW. This case is too political. It is a mistrial would be considered a win for the defense, in my opinion. It's a loss for the Commonwealth. Do you know, T, if they say no, they aren't going to, if it's automatically with prejudice, or can they go back sometime later and get her? Well, so they don't have her charged with first degree, so we'd have to look at the statute on the charges they actually have her on, and see what the statute is. So there's no way they're going to get it without prejudice. Or with prejudice, sorry. Because it's a mistrial. A mistrial doesn't make Karen not guilty in the eyes of the law, though, right? True. But it also doesn't make her guilty in the eyes of the law, which is It's better than it's the next win. How would they ever find an unbiased jury? I think they still could. I do. Because I've come to learn that not everybody pays as much attention to this kind of stuff as we do. I think it's a win for the CW because their case is insanely weak. How can the jury be deliberating still after everything we've seen? There's still people after everything we've seen that are still adamant that she is guilty. And the public has seen more than the jury has. And there's still people who think that she's guilty. Every time someone types the Commonwealth at CW, I get tagged. I thought someone just said I was fucking annoying. Oh, that's funny. We have a couple people who use initials like that match up with cases, and it's kind of funny. We have like BG for like bridge guy. What if they convict her and the FBI that are investigating the cops are corrupt, found out she really didn't do it? Will they release her? If they actually have proof that they find proof that she did not do it, then they would just release her. If she is found guilty, they're going to appeal it, and then the FBI investigation could potentially be used during the appeal, depending on what they do find out. So let's just say, I've never, and maybe you guys have, I don't know. But I don't know how the FBI ended up involved in looking at this. I've been told a few different things, but I've never researched it myself. So if they actually came in looking at the corruption based on this case, which I've heard that they didn't, they actually came in investigating something to do with the district attorney or law enforcement, and then it led them to this case. So I don't know, because I don't know that. It's hard to tell. So if in their investigation they just figure out that these guys are corrupt and have done certain things, then it could very well just come out to be like it not affecting the Karen Reed trial per se. We all need a lesson, and innocent until proven guilty. Better 100% guilty go free than one innocent found guilty. That is how it goes, but then I still have the extreme cases where some of the people I don't know if I would want that. Let's see like a Stephen Stearns fucking creeper with Madeline Soto. Like, it's almost like, is the chance of him going free where he could hurt another child the same as like a Karen Reed who, if guilty, most likely accidentally, drunkenly backed up into somebody? Do you know what I mean? So I still struggle with the morality behind that part too. So I get it. I get that people want justice for this officer. I get it. He seemed like a great guy. I mean, he obviously had, some relationship problems, but and I don't see how the Bowden instruction had the jury walking in and walking out with a not guilty. You don't see how it did have them doing that, or I don't see how the Bowden instruction had the jury walking in and walking out with a not guilty. You don't see how it, so you think they should have walked in with a guilty? I think I'm confused on the way that you worded that. I heard the West Palm Beach DA thinks the CW proved its case. That's scary. I bet I know another DA that probably thinks they proved their case too. Nick McClelland. The jury could be arguing something aside from her guilt. They could be split on the voluntary versus involuntary. It could be a half-half or one lone holdout. I agree like with the lesser charges, that it gives them more of an opportunity to be divided on what part she's guilty on there. But I also think that that would be more likely for them to make a compromise on what they think of with the lesser charges. That's my thought. I think that they would probably become more agreeable when they're so close together. Not the wording that they came in with the exhaustive. We've exhausted ourselves in trying to come to an agreement here. I know, Robin, right? I'm like, I wanted this to be done. I want to move on. And if it's hung, then we don't get to move on. Because if they do retry, then here we are again. Oh, you think that's why the FBI and the DOJ were there? I did too, but I guess I've never looked into it myself. I don't know. Higgins went on federal property to trash his phone. Yep. Hold on, what did Jim say? I missed what Jim said. Oh, that one. Coffin lady. What does the coffin lady say? Last, I don't really pay too much attention, but one of the last things, she still thinks that she's guilty, but there was one like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, she posted on Twitter something like, I don't know, I don't want to fight about this case, and I feel like we just need to wait for all the evidence to come out. And people were like, what? Like, why are you saying that now? Like, are you realizing that your side is losing? Not yet. They weren't 867. Yeah, so they had a federal grand jury, and yeah, nothing's happened from it yet. So that's when you get the pro Karen Reed is guilty people that say, if the FBI was going to charge anybody, they already would have. It's like, no, not necessarily. Not necessarily. And that may also be why Bev wanted this to go forward, so that the testimony would be out there and there wouldn't be the FBI would have all of this for their investigation. If the jury cannot come to a decision, that should be considered reasonable doubt. I think that would also depend on the split, but that's not how it works. So, no, they're very, 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 very different facts. I'm probably so far behind, I have no idea what that even pertains to anymore. Hold on. Sorry, I'm going to skip ahead. Oh, okay. That's what I thought you meant, Susan, but I wasn't sure. Well, I don't remember what my thought was now. Lawyer, agrees, T. He did a live on why it has to be the main issue at play. I'll have to go watch him when we're done. I was finally successful and got Coffin Moran to block me. God. I think Nancy Grace and Coffin Lady should date. I actually enjoy Nancy Grace. Don't tell Sleuthy. Sleuthy, everyone over here, close your ears. It's her arch nemesis. But I also I watch Nancy under the guise of her being an entertainment journalist and not a investigative journalist. So I don't take the things she says as fact and make them, and put them into my theory. I listen to her like it's a TV show kind of thing. It's like I don't try to take what I learned from CSI and put it into cases. Catastrophe said congratulations. Oh, Stearns and oh yes. Yes, thank you for reminding me. I'm like, I don't even know what the hell I was talking about anymore at that point. Yeah, very, very, very different. So that's why I'm like, I don't even know if I don't know. I like watching her too, although I don't agree. I don't agree with her hardly ever. Loki liked her and then watched the Delphi clip and was like, oh, so she just spews shit out of her mouth. Essentially, that's why I'm like, I don't take, she has other people telling her what facts there are. She's not doing any of her own research on any of this stuff. So one of her last Delphi lives, she's still talking about cat DNA. And I'm like, come on, Nancy, come on. She does. She snaps at her expert panel. And then people keep going back. Well, I'll tell you, like, if Nancy was like, Teresa, come on, and have you on, I'd be like, okay, see you in a minute, Nancy. She never knows the facts. She just doesn't. The fact is, I'm cool, and Lolly's not. Who, if any, want to sort of disagree? I knew nothing about this case before the trial. Had heard about Turtle Boy, but knew none of the facts or the evidence. I don't understand how all jurors do not see the huge amount of reasonable doubt. I don't know. I don't know either. They're stuck on whatever. Well, because you have to remember that they're allowed to give the weight of what each person testified to. They're allowed to give it their own weight. So if they believe somebody that the other people don't believe, or vice versa, they don't believe somebody. So like, even when it comes to the experts with the reconstruction from the DOJ, or the company the DOJ hired, if they think, wait a minute, how do these guys come up with this when they don't actually see every piece of the evidence? Why would that? What makes them any better? They don't have any of. They don't have all the evidence, even though they're saying it wasn't necessary. Yeah, ARCA. It wasn't necessary to have all the evidence. Well, maybe I don't believe them now, because they didn't get to see all the pieces and what and what it looked like, and they didn't even go look at the car, even though they knew they could have. So maybe they just believe the Commonwealth. Stop. Hammy, that is totally Nancy Grace. She's like, okay, shut the fuck up. This is my show. I'm going to talk now. Sleuthy would disown me. She would just shake her head at, like, I can't believe you would do such a thing. Nancy Grace, Coffin Lady, and The View are no-go zones for this dude. Why does anyone still watch her? I thought everyone had written her off as a laughingstock a decade ago. Which one? Nancy? Hold on, which one did CW say? Nancy is so rude to her guests. I watch her for entertainment. I legit do. You just have to put it in the category that it belongs in. You can't take it as like she's not a true crime fact-based channel. She's just not. I think it's probably one of the reasons I really like Vinny, even though there's things we all mess up some stuff. We all have info that we think is right until we know that it's not. But he'll do that sometimes too. He's still spouting about the four witnesses that said that Karen Reed said I hit him, and it's like, come on, Vinny, you were watching the same trial. You know that didn't happen. You know that they were all debunked. That never happened. But I mean, if you're going with the factual, is 4 people did testify that she said it, even though they are wrong. But I think that he tries to like actually dig in and read papers, and I can see Vinny being the kind of guy who's like sitting around digging into cases and like researching shit, like on his own. He's like, I'm gonna figure this out. Some people practically worship Nancy. Oh yeah, no. But every time I watch her, my husband's like, oh my gosh, she's screaming about top moms, because that's when I first started watching her, was with Casey Anthony. And she'd be like, breaking news, breaking, top mom found not guilty. Everything was about the top mom. So Justice Jane, do you think when you put 3 guilties, you think she's guilty of all 3 charges? I'm asking just because I want to clarify if it's just guilty to be like, I hit him, or if it's guilty, you think all 3 charges. What the fuck is a top mom? That's what she said. It's top mom. Oh, the devil is dancing tonight. Oh, do I absolutely remember that. Tot mom. It's the crazy moms who kill their babies. And all the kids are tots. You are 100% guilty, Scotty Skulls, but take all the words away and the pics tell a story. 100% not guilty, but take all the words away and the pics tell a story. Everybody fixated on the words. It frustrated me. So you think that when they're sitting back there, they're looking at the photos and not remembering the testimony of what they actually heard. So they're just looking at this lineup of photos that the Commonwealth pretty much put in. I remember Travis coming into the chat going, oh, this guy, hold on. This guy is good. The jury is going to believe him. And then Cross came, but it happened with every witness, it seemed. You mean Lolly? That he thought people were going to believe Lolly? Oh, so postpartum psychosis type cases are just the evil ones. Just the evil moms, the Casey Anthonys. I didn't really watch her before that, so I don't know if she referred to people as that before. It's a tot mom. I thought you said a tan mom. It's a tan mom. That's sometimes when my Midwest accent comes out. My husband makes fun of me for how I say hat. Like hot. I have to like enunciate it like it's hot. It's not hot. It's not a hat. The pic in the video at 5:08 is it for me. Not if the lights are actually LED lights. The LED lights would end up being red. Nobody discusses that in court though. So Lolly didn't come back with it and say no. We've proven that those lights are actually LED lights. If the LED lights are red, then you don't need the tail light cover to make the lights light up red. So if you think Karen is guilty, you don't believe the experts, erasing and dumping phones and Lucky. True. I think, you know, and a lot of lawyers that I've watched have said this too, that they were worried that Jackson and Yannetti going all in on this third party instead of just focusing on the corruption and the bad policing, that them putting all their eggs in that basket could be detrimental come jury deliberation, because people were going to want to see that evidence. Even though it's not required, they were going to want to see the evidence of it. So, and maybe that's true. Maybe they're like, well, the defense didn't prove that what their theory was. So that means that the only other good theory is this. It may have confused the jury and given them too much to consider. Yeah, that's even what's his name? Josh Ritter, who knows Alan Jackson, was saying the same thing. He's like, I was kind of worried about him going all in on this third party and not just focusing on the police investigation. Because even though like you're told to listen to this and not listen to this and all the rules of the court, your subconscious is going to do what your subconscious is going to do. It's going to point you in the direction it's going to point you in. And if that person is like it's black or white kind of thing, and defense didn't give us the evidence to prove what they are saying, then it's almost like they had to prove their case. It's always best to keep it simple. But Lolly and that's another thing. Maybe Lolly did that on purpose and just purposely tried to confuse the shit out of everybody so that at the end of the day, they're like, I don't know. He seemed to put on a lot of evidence. He seemed to have a lot of witnesses that must say that the Commonwealth knew what they were talking about. They should focus more on reasonable. We have no idea what they're really focused on. This is all just thoughts and things, and who knows. Let me see. Did Justice Jane answer about the 3 things? I wanted to know that because she did it earlier, and I was going to ask, and I forgot. The juror is stuck on the O'Keefe family's antics in the courtroom. I have never seen a victim's family be able to behave like that in court ever without being admonished and possibly barred. There was one of Bev's prior cases that the wife was crying, and she like yelled at her and said if she kept crying, she was going to kick her out. She was going to make it so she couldn't come in. And then, I don't know, we've got people like mouthing "fuck you" to the attorneys. Did Jane ever answer? Because I can't find it if she did. We can always get what we want, but if we try, sometimes you might find an inverted video from the Commonwealth that hasn't been turned over in discovery, all in one breath. I don't even think Lolly ever watched that fucking video. I think he was like, fine, we'll just play it tomorrow. Like, fine, thank gosh you guys found it. Now they can shut up about it. And he just puts it in, and he's like, all right, let's talk about this. Is this a fair and accurate representation of that? And he takes a drag off of the cigarette, and he's like, perfect, okay, let's keep going. And then he looks at social media that night, and he's like, fuck me, get me another pack. The rear LEDs are clear. Just check Lexus spares, not rocket science. Well, but they're not. The jurors aren't going to be able to do that. They can't just check. You have a Lexus from 2021, and the lights are not red. I think that reversed video, destroyed phones, lost footage, 0 chain of custody, etc. was sufficient evidence. These clowns made no effort to actually investigate this. I agree with you. Hey, Ramblin'. I honestly believe in the science and the physics. J.O. was not hit by a car. I'm surprised the experts never powered the light up. I do remember in when that they had an accident reconstructionist that the defense team was going to use, and they sent her over to the Sallyport, and when she got there is when the defense found out that the entire housing unit of the taillight had been removed. So their expert ended up not doing anything with the car at that moment because what they had gone there to do to figure out what this taillight, they couldn't because the taillight was actually totally gone. And they didn't know that. I don't remember what hearing or document that was that I read that in, but I remember it. Yeah, she reprimanded his wife in the Chestnut trial, which was also a mistrial, if I remember correctly. First time here, guilty 1, not guilty 2. Good luck with that one. I think you're going to get probably an overwhelming not guilty currently. You might get a couple guilties in there, but it's tough because you got the separate charges that you have to keep in mind. So I'm still going to stick with my it's not guilty on second degree, and I think the jury is hung on involuntary. You think that Lolly quit smoking before the trial? Now he's just like, son of a bitch. But he absolutely knew the next morning when Buchanan was still on direct and still didn't say anything. Yeah. Hi, Jen. I think we're probably going to wrap up soon. We've been on 3 hours, and I still didn't even go through the damn fucking text messages that I wanted to read. But it takes so long. I don't know how to do it. It just takes too long. Maybe they overcharged just like Anthony trial. Now, the juror feedback from the Anthony trial had to do with they really didn't like that prosecutor at all. And they liked Jose Baez. But they also didn't understand the expert testimony. And so I think that made it very complicated for them. I've been on 3 hours too driving. Oh, now you actually just get to talk to us. Have you read the 911? What do you mean, have I read the 911 CH? What does that mean? Yes. Yeah, I saw. So that's what he was actually out there on Sunday doing. I'm going to not on any count based on the. I'm going not on any count based on the Feds guys determining he wasn't hit by the car. So Sean McDonough thinks that the Feds have the bulkhead door from the basement, and that's why BA didn't recognize it on the stand. That's interesting. I also wonder why Jackson like zoomed in on that door handle. I know Belvin Perry was amazing. He goes on and does interviews sometimes like on Court TV. He'll discuss like other cases. I still think the family staring down KR and the jury the entire time is extremely prejudicial. Well, it's definitely an interesting courtroom setup. He is. He's representing. Yeah, he is. He's representing Shauna Gardner. I'm leaning more and more that JOK was an informant. They said the door handle was the same. The door was different. I can't stop thinking about his phone. I wonder if Jen had it the whole time, or if it dropped and then they moved his body to match it. So that's what I was thinking earlier, though, because if the phone isn't moving past 12:32, then the phone isn't like dropped inside the house and they go pick it up and bring it outside. It would have activity on it. Everything else is captured on it. So was the phone ultimately just with him anyway? And they were like, oh shit, okay, it is out there. Like, leave it there. If that's the way that the situation went down. I'm still stuck on the fact that Jen McCabe said that they just flipped him over on that 911 call. And nobody talks about that in the entire case. Nobody says anything about him being flipped over. Carrie only talks about the fact that she like lifts him up to put the sheet underneath him. Mr. Baez. One day, if there was ever actually time in life, that would be an awesome trial to go back and watch again. I would totally do that with you guys. I love that trial. I hate the outcome of it, but it was a good trial. Carrie also said that she had to unbury his head from the snow. She said she was wiping snow from his face, remember? Yeah. Maybe they couldn't find the phone because it was under it. Oh, the one that's transcribed. Yes. I've downloaded it. I haven't got to watch it yet. So I want to watch it first and then I'll check it out and make sure that it looks okay and there's not anything. I don't want to just air something that I don't have any idea about. I don't know. Not that I don't trust Fluffy Bunny, because I absolutely do. Where's all the blood? Casey Anthony's trial. That case really stuck with me. I adored little Kaylee Anthony. People to this day who know me from back then will send me things with like, "You are my sunshine." When my kids were born, they would buy me outfits that said "You are my sunshine" on it, just because like I absolutely adore that little girl. Yeah, but Lynn, then I'm hearing that those people are the ones that are anti-Turtle Boy, so that's why they're there. I don't know enough about it. I have no opinion. I don't have any. I don't know. BA said on the stand that his house has spotty cell service. So did they look at GPS of JM's cell that night? Maybe it was showing the front yard too. Well, that was another thing in the testimony when they're talking about those data points of where John's phone was. And then he says that, you know, the circle, if you guys remember this, like the circle got bigger and then it got smaller and then it got bigger, you know, depending on how close it was. And he's like, oh, but only one time was it in the house. And I was like, only one time did the circle show that the house. And then I'm looking at all of his circles, and I even made a note to myself. I'm like, most of his little circles are covering the house, at least some portion of the house. And I love that every time I see TB in chat, I think it stands for tuberculosis and not certified. I'm like, hold up. Well, we had a TB that was in here, so I wonder if they get tagged anytime anybody puts TB. I would love to go over Casey Anthony's case again. Yeah, it's a good case. All the videos, we had so much evidence before that trial. I mean, we didn't know it was technically going to be evidence then, but we had all of her calls, and we had like the visits with her parents from the jail. God, she was something else. The other thing that they really screwed up on was the Firefox. The Firefox would have had her. But they would have needed somebody to actually testify to it. I don't know. That's a hearing that just, or a court trial that just ended with injustice, and it sucks. Garino Spelling got within 3 feet of his actual placement, but Green said that wasn't possible. Well, it's the battle of the experts. I really think that he did not have his phone after some point in time. Yeah, Cindy Leiden said she did the searches that we all know she didn't. Well, the Firefox was what was found. I don't even remember exactly how long after trial it was. The Firefox searches were found, and only Casey Anthony had access to that browser. Nobody else in the family could have said that they even searched it. So for Casey Anthony, everybody on the jury voted not guilty. Yes. If all the other phones showed in the same location circles or same circles as John's, then not guilty. Which points weigh against her hitting him, but nothing shows she hit him. Her hysteria is totally understandable. She was drunk, most likely ready to break up with him, and upset anyway. Well, I know she thought he was going to come and talk to her, or he was going to at least call her and tell her what he was doing, and he just fucking blows her off. But then it's weird that she's like, nobody knows where the fuck you are. It's like, you just fucking dropped him off. How do you not know where he is? I was lucky I didn't have to buy a new TV. Yeah, hell isn't hot enough for Casey Anthony. Yeah, and then she got in like I watched some of the updates and stuff on her. Like she's got in a fight in a bar. It's like, oh, call the cops. She left him there at least 30 minutes from that voicemail though. But yeah, but like she's saying nobody knows where you are. She knows where he is. She just dropped him off. That's weird to me. She's like, nobody knows where the fuck you are. Well, I just dropped you off at their house. Like, nobody knows when the fuck you're coming home, or nobody knows when the fuck you're answering, why you're not answering your phone. But that's the next morning. That's after she sleeps, and then she kind of wakes up and she's not as drunk. I know a drunk person that will call her separated husband when he leaves and says the kids need him or the kids want to know where you are for hours all the time. Oh, God. Is there any way it wasn't her in the car? I don't think so. I think it was her. All right, hold on. Somebody messaged me. Other than that, we're going to wrap it up. We've been on 3 hours. We'll do, well, now that we know that we have more time for fucking jury deliberations. We have more time to read through the text messages. Do I feel like Kara could be guilty of hitting him? I do. But did they prove that to me? No. But then Susan comes in with the tough question on, if you believe the experts that say that car did not hit John and John did not hit that car, then how do we go to that she could have done it? And I don't know, but my mind still thinks that way. I don't know why my mind thinks that way. It just does. Dinging is Luthi saying, "You're a traitor. Go watch Nancy, my arch nemesis." Without the conspiracy, what do you have? I have a totally different theory of what I think happened, and I don't think either one are right. I don't think that the prosecution or the defense is actually right. I think it could become something completely different. But that still makes her not guilty. So then I still go with she has to be not guilty. You could always have done something, but the issue is the state doesn't prove you actually did it. It definitely could have been an owl pig. Maybe I'll call in this weekend to play devil's advocate, i.e. Taillight, Arca, Bach. Well, we still need to do something together, Scotty. Now that we still have time and I'm home, let's figure that out. My thought is that he got out of the car, he went to the side door, which is the side fence. You'd never been to the house before. You'd think a side door is on the side of the house. You go there, Chloe's outside, Chloe hits him, knocks him down, or goes to attack him, knocks him down. He hits his head, and he's like, shit, I hit my head. And he gets up to go back to Karen. I just got fucked up and my head's a mess. I need to go to the hospital. Karen's now gone. He's vomiting on himself and he passes out in the snow and then dies of hypothermia. That's where I'm at with it. And I don't think anybody there knows what the hell happened because nobody was paying any attention to any of that stuff. So that's where that's what I think. The vomit, yeah, he's vomiting because he hit his head. But then so there's evidence that they're testifying to that goes against what I think. You think he fell into the fire hydrant? The arm is from the dog. I think Chloe got him in the backyard. But he goes in through the side fence to go to the side door. And then I would go with the Jeep, the Higgins thing, except for I cannot figure out for the life of me when that fucking Jeep was there and when it wasn't. No dog DNA, but there is pig DNA. And pig DNA could be on the claws of the dog. But if I could figure out the Jeep thing, then the injuries to him and the location of him would make a lot of sense. What about Steve Scanlon, who went to Yannetti, first-hand account, fight broke out, he hit his head, knocked out, came to, convulsions, started throwing up. I struggle with this for two reasons. One, he got that information from somebody else, so it ends up being hearsay, so would they even allow it in? Two, if he really believed that, why would he not go and write a statement and testify to that? I'm not on camera. You can come give me a hug. Bye. Bye, baby. Have fun at gym class.
Okay.
I guess I won't see you till tomorrow, huh?
That's why I'm saying goodbye.
You have all your stuff? Yeah. If you need something, let me know. Love you. She has a sleepover tonight with one of the gymnastics girls. Maybe the Jeep is just to confuse us. Yeah. Why did she say, I think he got hit by a snowplow? Why didn't she go back to John's? Why did she call her parents? She told her dad she hit something. Well, she did hit something, so we kind of went over that. Why did she call her parents? I think because she wanted to go home. And why didn't she go back to John's? I don't know what that means, because she did go back to John's. Why did she say, I think he got hit by a snowplow? Well, you have to believe Carrie Roberts for that, and I'm not sure I do. You think that the Jeep was there and that he's lying about the Jeep. That's tough, because see, that puts more people into the theory. Maybe he just doesn't, maybe the Jeep wasn't, maybe, okay. So maybe Higgins isn't in the house right away, and maybe Higgins is out, you know, plowing the roads, and he drives back around, and that's when he hits him. I don't know. I can't figure out the Jeep situation, but there's something weird about Higgins, who thinks that at 1:30 in the morning after drinking all night that he needs to go to the police department to do paperwork or to move vehicles. Like, the guy shouldn't even be in a fucking car. Yeah. No matter where he got it from, if he actually wanted justice and he thought he was doing the right thing by going in there and saying that, then he should have gone to the police, and he should have filed a statement. So I struggle with that. I struggle with him. He won't understand it's a Jeep thing. He had a bacon burger at the bar and then wiped it on his right sleeve. I have the same basic theory as you, but then I'm like, how did no one hear that happen? I'd be screaming and the dog would be loud, I would think. Yeah, they're all in there screaming though. So I don't, them not hearing stuff at nighttime, no matter what it is, doesn't surprise me. If they're in there with loud music and they're playing videos on the phone and they're, you know, it doesn't surprise me they don't hear anything that night. The part that bothers me about not hearing anything is Brian Albert in the morning. So then that makes me go to, did something happen to John in the backyard and they moved John out to the sidewalk or to the closer to the roadway, and they came up with he could have been hit by a plow thing, because they're like, fuck, just put him out there. It'll look like he got hit by like the plow accidentally hit him, and it'll look like it was an accident, because we don't want anybody to know that the dog got him. So maybe there is some type of cover up, but it's essentially because they don't want the lawsuits and the problems and the legal ramifications of what their dog did. No dog DNA, so you believe in science sometimes. No, I didn't say that. The science does say that it could have been from the claws. You know, the claws aren't going to leave DNA on him. So you don't need the dog DNA. That goes against the bites. Yeah, why not swab his arms? They just swab the sleeve. I don't understand how you were saying that there was a plastic in his skin, a gigantic pool of people. What? People in the hair, and also that hair magically hanging on means guilty. So the DNA from the tail light and the DNA and the hair, they mean nothing, because they wouldn't give you the source of any of it. So John touching that tail light at any point in time leaves his DNA on it. If it had blood from cutting up his arm, they would have told you that it was blood. They would have 100% told you that it was blood. They never sourced that DNA. Why doesn't anybody care where the source of that DNA came from? Because people say it's DNA, so it just must be blood? That's not how it works. So if they want to say that the tail light is what cut up his arm, then why isn't there blood on the tail light? What are the name of your kids? I know Kaylee and then Bologna Sandwich Kid. I always wonder if Bologna Sandwich Kid is having a good summer. He's still eating bologna sandwiches all the freaking time. The kid loves bologna. So my oldest is Jacob. and then Kaylee's my middle, my only girl, and then my little is Jeremy, my bologna sandwich guy. That's Jeremy. Jacob, Kaylee, and Jeremy. Two other blood sources enclosed. They couldn't determine DNA, or they haven't yet, or the feds have it. Stay tuned. Ryan is way more intertwined with all of them than he let on in court. Well, you have his sister who was at the CF McCarthy's, so she probably called her brothers, and they were like, "We'll be there in a minute," and then both brothers come. That yeah. So I can't go. I think that the injuries would make more sense if it had something to do with the plow, but can't put the plow there. I mean, like Higgins' plow on his Jeep, but I can't figure out where the damn plow was. They had bacon bits on the potato skins at the bar, but that's not what John had. Did John have potato skins? Or maybe he did. Maybe I'm thinking incorrectly. You're probably right there. But the thing is why is he eating them with his left hand and then wiping his left hand on his right sleeve? You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of weird. Well, this just goes to that eyewitness stuff is notoriously terrible, terrible testimony because you can't remember the times. You're not thinking about the times. And I do give Jen the benefit of the doubt on the fact that that's why she was trying to figure out the times of the calls, because she's like, I know I did this right before I made this phone call. But then she's also intoxicated. So we're counting on the memory of all these people that are fucking wasted. Yeah, butt dials with no voicemails. Yeah, butt dials that are actually being butt hung up also. Masshole Mafia is someone that worked for Turtle Boy in a big FKR. After Turtle Boy fired her, she's big mad at him and changed sides regarding KR. Wait, he fired her? Like, how? Like, does he have a team of people? I don't know that much about that. I'm sorry. Does he have people who work for him? Like, how does he fire somebody? Or he just doesn't want to talk to her anymore, so then she gets big mad? That happens too. There is a reason touch DNA is called transfer DNA too. The hair in the DNA that's his is nothing. The unknown DNA is sus, and no one but Proctor and Buchanan were tested. Well, the DNA from the dog not being detected doesn't mean anything. They said his clothes were soaking wet. That's true too. The science would be you take individual samples from each area. You don't take a swab of all the areas. She's like, yeah, just swab the entire thing. That's where I'm at. I put 0 weight on it. Yeah, if you go to test my car, my husband's DNA is going to be all over it. He does all the work on my car. When I need a tail light, when I need the actual tail light, the actual light replaced, who do you think does it? He does. None of Karen's DNA was on John. Well, do we know that? Did they even ever test to see if Karen's DNA was on John? We know that there was male DNA, but we also know that there was multiple sources or multiple profiles. Could have even been a bear. Pig DNA could be tied into a wild hog or something. I mean, there's other wildlife other than the one dog on the street. Yeah. They're butt dog bites. He was talking about her the other day on a live. You and I were watching. He was talking about how she's with a guy who abuses her children and she's lost them. I think I tune out most of that shit. I don't know. A fake victim in TV's case. He does. He fixes the dryer. The other day he had to fix the washer. I have rang people accidentally when my phone is unlocked once or twice. I haven't done an actual butt dial. Right? I think they still refer to them as a butt dial, though, don't they? I mean, I do. They said that he'd lost like 3 liters of blood. Well, I mean, okay, so we could talk about this dog DNA. So there's no dog DNA found, but there's pig DNA found. And there's pig DNA found on the right sleeve of his hoodie based on swabs that were sent over. Now, where did the pig DNA is now coming from bacon? And he is right-handed, but yet he's taking his left hand and wiping it on his right sleeve. I think that doesn't make sense either. And then his nails do get tested. They don't have any. Do they have any bacon? Do they have any pig DNA under his nails? Oh, okay. She was there today. She's one that lost the 2 kids to the state because of, I swear. Oh, yeah. See, I don't know any of that kind of stuff. That's interesting. I did hear that the people there were people who didn't like Turtlewood. That's funny coming from you, Hammy. I crack myself up. Well, Holly said only DNA under nails was his, but he said that in closing, and I never heard that in trial. How anyone could believe any evidence collected by these POs after solo cups and snow blowers is beyond me. Leaf blowers. Leaf blowers. I see, as if Chloe bit down and dragged him or something. I don't know. It could just be scratches. Oh, now he's. Okay. I'm gonna say no to that, only because supposedly the guy freaked out if you wore shoes in his house. You think I cannot imagine that he's just wiping. Maybe he is. Who knows? I have no idea. Burn. I'm just giving you a hard time, Amy. I mean, you kind of have to when we're talking about pig DNA and your name is maybe he got butt bacon. Oh my god. All right. I think we're done. I think that we've gone too far. We're talking about butt bacon now. I think that's the end of it. There was a pig writing contest earlier that day. They're just playing grab ass with the pigs. Leave them alone. All right. Let me get all this crap gone. All right. Well, we'll figure it out then. We know we'll be back on Monday. Joy to the world. We'll be back together on Monday to talk more about Karen Reed. All right. You guys go enjoy your weekend. I actually may pop on and do another live this weekend about Karen Reed, but maybe about another case. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how time works out now that I'm back home and trying to get everything back on a regular schedule. And we do have our city fireworks show is tomorrow night, so I think the kids are probably going to want to do that. But no matter what, I'll see you on Monday if I don't see you sooner than that. And we have Vinny and Lawyer, and some others to see what they say. Okay. We'll figure it all out. I'll talk to you guys soon. Go enjoy your weekend. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you so very, very much. I know that you guys have thousands of other places that you could spend your time, and you choose to spend your time here with me. And I do appreciate it. Whether you agree with me, disagree with me, as long as we're kind to each other, we're gonna make it, and that's what matters. Not if I see you first. Well, you probably will see me before I see you. Either way, it'll be soon. Go. Have a good weekend.